Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you the fan show with our man Jack and Nicky. Jack, how are you, my man?
Doing very well, David. Doing very well. Fresh off that, our first time doing a pre-recorded video in quite some time. Hopefully the Harris Army accepts it well. If they're excited, about Brian Hill, definitely check that out. We did it earlier today. But David, we have someone, who's on a bit of a time crunch here. So maybe we should bring him on maybe right away, David.
Let's get him on.
Absolutely. We're going to bring on the Yid Kid here, Daniel here, absolute legend here. He has his own channel as well. You can check it out. I think it's just how it's spelled down there. Please check him out. How you doing, Yid Kid? I know you've probably come out with a video on Brian Hill. Maybe how do you feel like, signing such a young, Spanish sensation, excuse me?
Yeah, I'm doing great, by the way. But I just want to say, first of all, farewell for Eric Lamela. The energy and the passion that guy put for the badge is just, you don't find that in another player. And he's not one of those players that you look at Dele Alli, and he doesn't, or a lot of other players like Dele Alli, you can compare that he doesn't play. We always say he doesn't play for the badge. Eric Lamela was somebody that did play for the badge, and I loved how he played. So just want to say good luck in Sevilla, and hopefully you could go on well. But on the other hand, I want to say I haven't been this excited for a player coming into Tottenham since Gareth Bale.
Wow.
Brian Gill, the little, as I call him, the little Cruyff. It's just so smooth when he touches that ball. I've watched a little bit of his highlights, and his statistics, and I'm really excited. Next season could be something that we should definitely be looking forward to.
And what do you make of maybe his unique ability on the left-hand side? Do you think he could play on the right-hand side for Spurs?
I definitely think he could play on the right-hand side. Because in my personal opinion, as your winger, if you're a winger, you might have a preferred side, but you should be able to play on both sides. I'm personally a winger, and I always get played on both sides. Reason being, if you're right-footed, you can whip in balls, you can cross in balls. Or if you're right-footed and you're playing in the right, you could cross in balls. And if you're left-footed, if you're right-footed and you're playing in the left, that means that you could cut in and shoot. So it really works for both ways. And I think that if we put him in the right-hand side, he's gonna have that ability to cut and shoot. I'm pretty sure he's a lefty. So yeah, definitely looking forward to him. Definitely. I think he's gonna be a big step up. I think he's better than Gareth Bale in my opinion. I honestly think he's better than Gareth Bale.
Wow.
Interesting. Another player that is also departed is Toby. He's heading to Qatar for a club in Qatar for 13 million. What's your thoughts on the deal, first of all? And do you think we should have sold him before Eric Dyer and Sanchez?
Look, Toby wanted to go. Toby wanted to go, and I love Toby. I love the way that he plays for the club. He's one of those players that I have a lot of memories with him. Like when he scored that header in the North London derby, the first North London derby in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But then, like, if you don't want to play for the club, I don't want him in the team. I don't want him in the team. As much as I love him, if you don't want to play for the club, I don't want you in the team. It's simple as that. Even if Harry Kane, obviously, I hope he wants to play for Tottenham. But even if he doesn't want to play for Tottenham, if he's gonna sit on in the penalty spot, in the halfway line just all game long, and he's not gonna do anything for the club because he doesn't want to play for Tottenham, then I honestly wouldn't want him to be in Tottenham either. It's just that simple because you're not gonna play. I want that type of player with the energy, honestly, that I think is gonna come from a Christian Romero or from even other players that have been coming out that they're interested to joining Tottenham in the last few days. But just want to say farewell, Toby. And yes, I would have sold Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez before Toby. But I think that Davinson Sanchez is going to Sevilla as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, fair enough. And another player who signed a new contract, he's tied down to 2025. His son, of course, effectively being tied down to the end of his career. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, to be honest, he's a fantastic. I honestly think he's gonna be way more step up than Joe Hart. When it comes to Joe Hart, I just don't think he's a competition for Hugo Lloris. I think he was there for. You can't say that there's Hugo Lloris with a broken leg would stop more shots than a fit Joe Hart. And I honestly think that that the new side, I forgot his name, but he's gonna be more of a competition. He's gonna give Hugo Lloris a run for his money, and you also have to remember next season, Hugo Lloris's contract runs out. So he's gonna be if he looks good, then honestly, what I'd say sign him. He could be the next Hugo. Honestly, like around the club, they've been saying that there's Poch vibes. I wonder if he could be the next Hugo Lloris in this Poch era or in the Nuno era. But as well, if they're in the contract, it says if he plays 20 games, we automatically have to buy him. So I honestly, I could just imagine him playing 19 days and then 19 games, and then Levy telling Nuno to not play him anymore because he doesn't want to buy him. But
Yeah.
I'd want to see how he plays because I really haven't much of him. I think that's something that gets overlooked about him is that he was in that Atlanta squad that conceded quite a lot of goals. But I honestly think that's because Atlanta were paying too much attention to the forward, and they were leaving gaps in the back. That's why they were conceding so many goals, in my opinion. But I want to see how he plays in the Tottenham jersey, and I think he's excited to play for Tottenham, and he's that type of player. Also, he's a good rapper as well, so I'm interested in listening to his music.
Definitely. And maybe another question here, maybe in terms of Galini, do you think Galini, is one that maybe actually might live up to that potential of actually being able to replace Hugo, or is he maybe one that, might just be someone that just will be here kind of briefly at the club, will kind of terminate, that loan to buy option or whatever it is, and, we might just only see him briefly, or do you think he's someone that maybe, who knows, might actually come to blossom at Spurs?
When it comes to Galini, he played for Manchester United. He played for Aston Villa as well. So he had a potential to be a player for Manchester United, a Champions League regular goalkeeper, that type of player. Now he got sent to Atlanta because it didn't work out. And now he's getting that chance again. If I was Galini, I would be so motivated to every shot that comes to him, he wants to save it. Of course, every goalkeeper would want to do that, but he'd have that extra motivation, And also, I've seen him talking about the club, that it's a fantastic club, that he's so motivated to work with a goalkeeper like Hugo Lloris. To be honest, it's going to be such a huge for him learning step to be in the same club and in the same team with a World Cup winning captain in the same position that he played. So imagine that's like me.
Yeah.
That's like let's say another player that has no experience, and then he plays alongside of a Cristiano Ronaldo. How much experience do you think he's gonna get? It's like that. It's like how Harry Kane is for Son. Harry Kane, he makes everybody around him better. Everybody around him. Imagine if he makes everybody around him better. Imagine how Eric Dyer would be without him. But when it comes to him, I do think if he gives the passion, if he works out, I think he's gonna play. I honestly think he's gonna play 20 games. There's more than 20 games in the Conference League, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to play 20 games, and I think we're gonna end up signing him. The question for me is, I think he's gonna be the club next season, but in my opinion, I honestly don't think he's gonna be a starting goalkeeper next season. I think we're gonna end up getting somebody like Nick Pope next season, and then we'll see what goes on from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, look, we won't keep you much longer, lad, because we know you have football training to go to. So, mate, look, go and train like Harry Kane does.
Yeah. See you guys in the next one. By the way,
first of all, before you log off, just plug your channel and let everyone know where they can find you and what to expect.
Yeah, I know you guys only saw a brief of me, but hopefully I could be on for a longer time. You guys can find me on the Theirishyid. I do podcasts every day. On Mondays, I bring on guests. Both of these lovely guests have been on my channel before. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to my channel. On Friday I do FIFA Fridays as well. And I do breaking news like when we buy players and stuff. And I'm going to be starting doing a new series when the season starts with the opposition fans to see what they think about the game and stuff like that. So if you want to check out my channel, as at the Theirishyid, and yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
Big up Theirishyid.
Yeah, thank you.
Everybody get over and check it out. Big up, Daniel. Thanks very much for coming on, my man.
Good luck in training, brother.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks, Daniel. Thank you. Everybody. So Daniel had football training, so he wanted to get on straight away. So we brought him on straight away. But we do have another guest who would also like to get on as well quickly. But I just want to run through a few comments here quickly, and then we'll get him on. As well, if you want to come on and have your say, the link is open in the community section. in the channel if you're a white or a gold member. So make sure you get up there into the community section of the channel and get the link. Killian Kenny gets his shout out. Big up. Hello, Killian Kenny. How are you? Richard Bennett. Good evening, fellow Yids. How are you, Richard? I hope things are well, man. Chris is in the building. Hello, Chris. Big up, Chris. I hope you're keeping well. JC, good evening, folks. Good evening, Mr. Harris. Good evening, JC. I hope you're well, man. John Fitzpatrick, representing Irish out in Australia. I hope things are good with you, lad. David, the greatest name of all time. He says, buzzing for Brian Gill. I hope you are, man. We all are. Thomas Sutherland says, come on, you Spurs. Hello, Thomas. How are you, man? Richard Bennett says, we have Gill, an attacking midfielder. If we get defenders in, will that be good enough, or do we need more? Yeah, I would like to get in more, but look, it'll be enough going into the season, I think. Island Life says, good day, lads. I hope you're keeping well, Island Life. How are things? We have Marcus Aurelius. He's up for the painful rebuild anyway. Big up. Golden Cock says, just in time for my supper. Absolutely love it. I'll be having mine when this finishes, lad. It's Tony Hall. Hello, David and Jack. How are you? All okay? Hope you're all okay. Excited that we got Brian Gill, and thank God we got rid of Eric Lamela. I was not a big fan. Sorry for the Lamela fans. No, 100%. Aaron Dove is in the building. I hope you're keeping well, Aaron. How are things? William McKenzie, some will be up top. Hello, William. I hope things are well, lad. Oliver Freeman, big up. He says, not going to lie. Never heard of Brian Gill, but hopefully he comes good. Oliver, go and check out the video me and Jack put out earlier on. It's a quick 20-minute video on Brian Gill. Check it out, my man. Cody Max in the building. I hope you're keeping well, Cody. How are things, lad? We've got Limey Leaf fan. He says, Gill sounds promising, but looks yet another lightweight operator. I wish we could sign someone more intimidating physically, players who could give opposing teams something to think about. Yeah, that's a fair point. I think everyone will have a bit of concerns about how we'll match up physicality-wise. THFC fan Bible, we can't put too much pressure on the lad. He's going to be a deputy to Son. No pre-season, and is still 20. Great player, but won't be an instant substantial impact. That's a fair point. AV Troops, how are you? Stefan Blaise, hello.
Big up, Stefan.
Adam, big up, Adam. We have Daniel Bristol. I hope you're keeping well. He's from Hackney. How are things? Matthew Boker says, would you rather have Romero or Koundé? Romero for me, Jack.
Yeah, probably Romero for me. And to be honest, even though I normally would have said Koundé, I'm going to say Romero because that's the one that seems most realistic, and he wants to play for us, and that's probably the deciding factor for me, David.
That's fair. We have OG Garrett. He says, hi, gents, from Winnipeg, Canada. Hope you're keeping well, lad. I hope you're keeping well. When I started this, I never thought I'd be reaching people all around the world. It's mad. Daisy 8, new channel member. How are you keeping, my man? Welcome to the Harris Army. If you got a white or a gold membership, the channel, the link for the channel membership is in the community section. Make sure you get on and have your say. Plus all the members we picked up during the week. THFC Kirst is in the building. How are you, Kirsty? Chris Noah, what a great kid. Come over, comes across well. You go, mate. He does. Jay Keaveney is in the building. Wesley's in. Big up, Wesley. Am Singh is in. Terry Wright, Oliver Freeman. Sorry if I've missed anyone, guys. But look, we are going to get on the next guest, Joe Grimes. But before we do, lads, just the formalities. Make sure you do smash a like on the stream. Subscribe if you're new. Like I said, grab your channel memberships to come on and have your say. And look, why not help? Why not get your super chats in? It really does help to support the channel. And look, sometimes we have 200 to 300 people watching live. As much as we would like to sit here and discuss everyone's comments, it's literally impossible. So, like, you know, if you do get frustrated or whatever, I do apologize like that. But like, if you put the super chat in, it just guarantees that you jump the queue and your discussion does get read out and discussed. But look, as always, we will try and get everybody's comment up on screen, as we always do, because we know people are not in that position to be able to do it. But look, Jacko, let's bring on the next guest, Joe Grimes.
Absolutely, David. We got him on here. It's Mr. Big Joe. Joe, how you doing?
All good, guys. How are you getting on?
Oh, we're all good, lad. All good. I loving the fresh haircut, my man.
Oh yeah, got the buzz. Got to get down nice and tight for the hot weather.
Yeah, he's feeling the wind.
Right. You work outside, don't you?
No, mostly in the office, but I have to go out inside.
Oh, you're in the office. Oh, you're all right. Yeah, you got the handy job, so.
Yeah, well, so it's okay. It's okay at times.
Big up, Joe.
But
Big
look,
up,
Joe, a lot of news to cover lately. Of course, you were busy. You started a new job last week, so you couldn't get on, my man. But look,
Yeah.
we'll start with Eric Lamela leaving. Are you happy to see the back of him?
Yeah, I'm happy to see the back of him, to be honest. I wanted Lamela to. I think around 2019, I've been looking for Lamela to leave, but yeah, I think it's just time now to go. It's, after 8 years, it's time now for him to move on and seek pastures new. And yeah, he's been a great servant to the club, and he's always come out and gave 100%, but he's just never really been good enough, has he?
No.
Let's just be
No.
honest.
No. Is there any maybe qualities in Lamela that you might miss? For me, it was kind of like that fearless nature, that dark arts nature to him that, I might kind of miss, that, tendency to put in a 2-footed tackle into a player you probably don't like on the opposition. But, that's kind of maybe what comes to mind. What maybe you might, what will you miss about Lamela?
Yeah, just that aggression and
right.
That just the way he's able to just wind up the opposition and maybe get a red card or for an opposition player. That kind of dark arts mentality. We kind of
Like the United game this season, Joe.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful moment when he got Martial sent off. Hopefully, not Lamela, Romero, if he joins us, might bring that bit of Argentine dark arts to the Spurs.
Right. And then maybe, do you have any like I said, when it comes to this deal with Lamela and Gil, we're actually maybe trading someone who some might say is a bit like, Lamela, hopefully, he might be a bit different. Maybe he won't have the injuries. Maybe he might have a bit more output in terms of goals. How do you feel about, getting another kind of, left footer that's supposed to be a bit of a creative type, coming in?
Yeah, no, it's a shrewd signing for us to complete. This kid's got a lot of promise, and he's a great prospect, and he's getting rave reviews out in Spain.
Right.
So it's a very shrewd purchase by Theirishyid. So hopefully, I can't see Brian Hill hitting the ground running straight away, but I think we would probably just ease him in and out of the team and play when it suits. But I think it'd be a great buy for us, and at least now we're kind of looking towards the long term with the signings that we're making now. A lot of our signings are guys in their early 20s, and this is the kind of rebuild we've been asking for.
Yeah, good point. Very good point there.
It is a good point. And talking of rebuild, look, Toby's going out to Qatar as well. 13 million coming in towards the transfer kitty. Are you sad to see Toby go?
Yes and no. I think it was kind of time for Toby to leave as well. His legs were gone, and if we want to get back to where we were, we can't really rely on Toby. If we want to get back into the top 4, to be honest, we need fresher legs in there, hungrier players. I don't think Toby's been the same since he did his hamstring there a few years ago against Real Madrid. And I think last year he wasn't bad last year, but because the other two boys were so bad, we kind of covered up. We kind of the spotlight wasn't really on Toby, but he wasn't. He just wasn't at his best the last couple of years. So I think, and to get 30 million from him is for 32-year-old, it's great business, to be honest.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And to be honest, he might be one of Levy's maybe favorite players, considering that he's made a profit on him, over this amount of time. Maybe if you're willing to go with me here, Joe, to the Kane saga, which, might be something that maybe you don't want to touch on, but with the Kane saga, do you think that maybe a lot of these, players that we're maybe going after, a lot of these kind of, high value players, supposedly, do you think they might be all funded by, like a secret, Kane transfer? Or do you think that Levy's going to hold on to him for another season?
Yeah, that's kind of at the back of my mind, to be honest. It's kind of shades of 2013 with the Gareth Bale, Bale money. But totally. Personally, though, I think we'll hold on to Kane for one more season. I think
I'm hopefully.
And if it doesn't go well this next season for him, and if he wants to leave, just let him go next season. See what we can get out of him this year. I don't think we'll get the money we want to get from the 150 million. So next summer, if we want to sell him, we might get 100 million for him. So that's still good business.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there.
And speaking of one goal to another, Son tied down to 2025, lad. You know, how happy are you with Sonny staying?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great news. Look, he's a world class player, and he's in his prime. He could get into any team in Europe, but he wants to stay here because he loves Tottenham, and that's mostly what I'm just so pleased about. The guy bleeds blue and white, and it's great to tie him down, and hopefully he can kick on. Seen some players after getting big contracts, they're not really as motivated or not don't perform as well. But I think Sonny has a different mentality to likes of Aubameyang and players like that. So I'm not too worried about Son playing poor next year. I think he's still got a lot more left in him.
Joe loves an Arsenal dig where he can get one in anyway.
Yeah, I gotta get that one in.
Well, look, I know Jack has a follow-on question. Speaking of kicking on, I know Jack has a follow-on question to Sonny's contract.
Yeah, and do you think he can be maybe that leader, that face for Spurs, because Harry Kane has practically had maybe unsaid, right? That kind of role. He's been the one that maybe you first think of when you think of Spurs, probably, let's say, considering the last question I asked you, with Kane, potentially leaving, and Sonny maybe tying down his contract here. Do you think Sonny could be maybe that kind of new face for Spurs? Do you think he could step into that role?
Yeah, of course he could. And we've seen in the 18-19 season when Kane got that injury, Son carried us through that Champions League campaign.
Right.
We wouldn't have got to the semi-final if it wasn't for Son hitting those 3 goals. So yeah, and other games he got us out of jail. I think with last minute winners against Newcastle comes to mind. It's Brighton, I think, as well. So yeah, I think Sonny can step up to the play if Kane leaves. But I'm still hoping that I still think that we'll get another year out of Kane, anyways.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that's a good answer, Joe. To be fair, and especially what you were saying about, I like what you were saying there about the new contract. Sometimes players kind of feel like they don't have to perform anymore, and that Sonny will. That was a great point, Joe. I have to say, a great take on it. But look, moving on to a couple of signing here. Basically, Levy has given Paratici the green light to go and complete the Romero deal, according to Alistair Gold. Is Romero a player you want to see in the door, and is it a crucial signing that Tottenham have to make?
Yes, 100%. This is a brilliant sign if we can pull it off. Serie A defender of the year, just a really aggressive player, gets stuck in, flies into challenges, dangerous from a set piece as well. Yeah, I think this is a vital signing for us now, to be honest. But my worry is if we're going to pair him, we have to have a partner, like a proper partner to beside him. Because if he goes in beside Eric Dyer, then we're wasting our time. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Do that. So
you don't think he'd be able to rough Dyer up a little bit, no?
No, you can't polish it hard. But
yeah.
Well,
look, he doesn't earn the nickname Moon Boots for no reason, does he, Joe?
No, he doesn't. That's Moon Boots is not very good.
Well, look, before I let Jack pass you over another question, Cody Mackey was saying he loves, earlier on in another comment, I don't know whether you've seen it, Joe, but he was saying, he loves listening to you. He says you're the voice of reason. But he has a question here for you. He says, Joe, would you see Tanguy for what we paid for him? Or would you sell Tanguy, I presume? Spelling mistake, Cody. Something you usually pull me up on. So come on, kid. No, you're better than that. But would you sell Tanguy for what we paid for him?
Yeah, I probably would, to be honest. Even though I don't think a club's going to come in for him. But yeah, we just haven't seen enough from Tanguy for what we paid for him, and he's had long enough now long enough time here now and enough chances to show that he can be our main midfielder. I don't think we've seen glimpses of it, but we just haven't seen it consistently, and it's the same with Gio as well. So if we can get I think we paid 100 million for both of them. If we get that back, both of them, I probably would sell them. But I think we'll still see Tanga and Gio anyways this season. I think they're part of the plans, and there's a lot more deadwood that needs to go anyways before we focus on those two guys. But they need to have a big season. 100%.
I think that's a really good answer there. And to be honest, that's a really good question as well from Cody Mack. Maybe I might quickly say I'd rather maybe sell Gio maybe for the same price we got him first before I'd sell Tanguy for the price that we got him. But that's just me being super biased towards my love for Tanguy. So not really any, real, I think, logic behind that. But, I think this is going to maybe be, speaking of maybe Tanguy or Gio or, anyone else in the squad, who do you maybe see as being that third highest goal scorer, that third highest goal contributor? Because obviously, Sonny and Kane, you're saying that Kane's going to be staying. So with Sonny and Kane there, who do you maybe see being that Gareth Bale of last season for us, this upcoming season? Gareth Bale was the one, right, that came through with all the goals and the assists when, Sonny and Kane couldn't. Who do you see maybe, stepping up this next season?
That's a good question, Jack. I'm not sure, to be honest.
That's why I couldn't even come up with an answer myself. Yeah.
God. We need to see more from Stevie B and guys like that, or Lucas Moore if he's staying. Yeah, we just need that second striker, don't we? Just to ease the pressure off Son and Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and we need more goals from midfield as well. So like Gio and Tonga need to start contributing more in terms of goals. But I'd like to see another midfielder come in, to be honest. An attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Possible.
Speaking of a backup striker, Joe, Mr. Richard Evans was asking in the chat earlier on. What backup striker would you like?
Probably Danny Ings, to be honest. There's 1 year left in his contract, and if we can get him for £20 million, that'd be a good deal. And I think he'd be happy enough to play as a backup, or not as a backup, but play less games than he did at Southampton because of his injury record.
Yeah.
But I think there's this Serbian striker from Fiorentina, apparently, that they like, but I can't see that happening this year unless we did sell Kane. Vlahovic or something, I think it's his name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a good prospect, but I can't see that happening this year.
Yeah. That and also it might be tough for to convince him maybe to be a backup, but maybe we can. Me personally, I might go for someone like a cheeky Chris Wood, as maybe a backup to to Harry Kane, to come in the 80th minute, knock down a header. But I think to be honest, Joe, I think you're spot on, and maybe thinking that Danny Ings might be the best economical and also quality kind of solution.
Yeah. I would take Chris Wood though as well. I think he'd be a great man to bring on. Yeah, he's a great option to bring on 5 minutes to go if we need a goal, and then he's quite young as well. He's not that old, so he'd be a good sign as well. And I think we'd get him for a good fee as well. Get him for about 10 million. I think Burnley don't have that much money.
No, I think you're spot on there. I think he's like maybe around 28, 29. So he's young. He's young for a New Zealander. Because I feel like whatever they have over there, it must be the milk or the goat's milk or something that they're fed over there, because they all seem to be absolutely full of youth. But like Shamu, our own very own in the Paris Army.
Yeah.
So
our own Kiwi.
Our own Kiwi.
And look, final question for you, Joe. If we do sell Winks and Sissoko, which us fans want, do we need to bring in a centre midfielder option? Or is going into the season with Skip, Tanguy, Lo Celso, and Højbjerg enough?
Good question.
That's a good question, David. I think we do, but ideally, like a versatile kind of player that can play like a box-to-box or an attacking midfielder. So we can kill two birds with the one stone. If we can get a player like that, that can play number 10 and number 8. I'm still thinking that George Mendes and Nuno were close. You said, Jack, a few weeks ago, so I'm hoping that George Mendes pulls one out of the bag for us, maybe like Renato Sanchez or something like that. Be a good sign.
Yeah, I think you might. Renato Sanchez would be maybe the most ideal one, maybe especially Joe. He's kind of like I think they met, on a weekend, like they must have been, clubbing or dancing in Portugal. Probably something maybe you do similar, on your weekends off, and, it'd just be like meeting a director of football one day and just being, hey, how about give me a manager job somewhere, and that's just kind of how it turned out. And to be honest, Joe, it's the most ideal scenario, I think, for any manager, really, what happened to Nuno.
Yeah, so I think we'll get one or two of them towards the end of the window, hopefully. So,
yeah, partying pays off, and maybe shows. Partying pays off, dancing pays off.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe knows about partying. Trust me, he's from Offaly. They know how to have a good night out down there, especially on the weekend. Don't worry about that. But Joe, one last quick question, and then I have one more quick question for you, just as a bit of banter. But the second last question is, are you happy with what Paratici has done so far, or would you expect more?
I'm happy so far, but there's still a lot more work to do, and it's all happening very quickly now. Apparently, this week's going to be even busier than last week, so I'd say one or two players might come in this week, and one or two might leave this week as well. So it's all starting to kick off at Tottenham, which is just great to see. So yeah, there's a lot more to do.
Look, it's nice not to see United, Liverpool and Chelsea dominating the transfer window anymore. Tottenham's name is about there. I love it. I like to see it. But last question, Joe, is are you excited to watch Kildare play in the Leinster final?
I actually am. Yeah, I think they have a good chance. Yeah, Dublin aren't looking as good as they were, so I wouldn't rule out Kildare. Anyways, I think they can 100%.
Well, look, Joe, I want to say thank you so much for coming on this evening, my man. Absolutely love your input as always, and great guest as always, man.
No, it's always a pleasure to come on, guys, and look forward to come on again. It's great speaking to you. It's great.
Thanks for coming on, Joe. Thanks for answering, especially some of those tough questions, especially that maybe I gave you there. You handled it well, Joe.
No, keep them coming, Jack. Keep them coming. I love them. I love it.
Absolutely love it. Big up, Joe. Guys. Big up, Joe. Absolute legend. You go and get some beauty sleep for work tomorrow, man.
Well, indeed. Thanks very much. See ya.
Catch you, brother. See you, Joe. Good night.
Absolute legend, Joe.
David, really quickly, I think we got to get to the super chat, and then right after that, David, a lot of people are freaking out about this, Romano tweet that I'm going to read out, aloud. But let's get to the super chat, from OG Garrett here. OG Garrett, thank you for joining us as well, OG Garrett. Really appreciate the generosity as well. And he says, sad to see Toby go. Romero looks like a proper player. Maybe I'll go on. Maybe I'll touch on Toby, and David will take Romero here for this one. Garrett, when it comes to seeing Toby go, I am a bit sad. They did call him, over at Henry Wright TV, they did call him, the Lord of the Pings. He has been actually always a bit of a Zen kind of defender, always seemed to, see the game, seconds ahead of everyone else. That's probably what made him such a good defender. He didn't need to rely on a lot of physical attributes. But maybe over a bit of time, it seemed like, his maybe allegiance or passion or whatever it might have been for the club kind of seemed to have waned. And he kind of maybe became a bit of a bad, I don't know, like a bad spirit or a bad vibe inside the dressing room, which is a bit unfortunate. But when just speaking about the man or the player, does seem to be like a fantastic player, seem like a good man as well. And to be honest, I only wish him the best. And as well, he seems to be getting a good paycheck, for the family, for the kids. He's thinking about the future, David. You can only ask him. You can only ask the most of him. So, that's what he's done here with, the Qatari paycheck. Yeah, Jacko, he's got to get them kids to private school. It's not cheap. But with Toby, look, you could see it coming as well. Just quickly, you could see it coming. He only signed his new contract and stated that because he always wanted to work with Jose. Jose got sacked. He's now out of here. So you could kind of see that coming. But on Romero, look, he looks like a real player. Do you know what it is, OG Grant or Garrett? Your defenders, my man. Your defenders because you see a dog. You know a dog when you see one, my man. This guy has the mentality. He loves interceptions, loves getting stuck in. He'll take a card for the team if he needs to. He's just nasty and horrible to play against. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, especially at the back. And, because he's going to put some strikers off. They're not going to have as much of a nice game as they had last season against Tottenham. That's for sure, OG. But big up and thank you for the super chat, OG Garrett. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Everybody else, feel free to follow his lead and throw in a super chat or two to help support the channel. But look, Jack, Yeah. Here from Fabrizio Romano. I think it's from 8 minutes ago, and he says Tottenham still in negotiations for Christian Romero, but no agreement yet on £55 million yet, or maybe that's euros, but 55 million fee. He's the priority, 100%. So apparently he's the number one priority, David, for Spurs here for 55 million euros. I think that's euros there. And then for Plan B, apparently as a Plan B, David, in case we don't get Christian Romero, Fabrizio Romano is saying we are in open talks to sign 3 different defenders for around the same amount, and that would be Tomiyasu for 18 million, Milenkovic for 15 million, and Zuma for 25 million. Kurt Zuma, which is a bit interesting. And then apparently Chaletakar, that Marseille Croatian defender, apparently has not even been an option this entire time. I think he stated that even before in a tweet. And then as well, David, really quickly, apparently Hertha Berlin, my second club behind Spurs, are apparently about to sign my favorite player of all time, Stefan Jovetic, David. The stars are aligning this upcoming season.
Look, that's mad. Look, I was sold with Tomiyasu and Milenkovic, not 100% sold with Kurt Zuma.
What do you think about the Plan B, maybe?
Yeah. Look, I do think if we sign Romero, we could still sign Milenkovic and Tomiyasu as well. It's only 15 million and 18 million. Selling Toby pays for either Tomiyasu or Milenkovic anyway.
Yeah, fair play.
Winks supposedly if that deal goes through to Everton for 25 million, that covers Tomiyasu and Milenkovic together. So look, for me, the money's going to be there to sign him. I want Christian Romero, I really do. Kurt Zuma, I'm not 100% sold on, or Chaletakar either. Not even an option.
He's not even an option.
Yeah, because he was poor. He was poor for Croatia, I have to say.
He was.
In the Euros. But Tomiyasu and Milenkovic, look, we can still go and get them anyway. And get them. Tomiyasu can play right back, and he can fill in the centre back if needed. Milenkovic is another absolute savage as well. So imagine you compare Romero and Milenkovic. But the only thing is, well, actually no, because that means you can ship on Dyer and Sanchez, and then you're kept with Rodon and Tanganga, which is perfect. And Tomiyasu can fill in if needed. Right. So that's kind of like 5 centre backs across the season. If Tomiyasu got already at right back, then you have that other idiot Davies and Reguilon at left back. With Session as backup if we go with the wing back system. So it's going to be all good. It's going to be all good. But I want Romero. Just go and get me the deal. Go and get me done. Go and get the player. And then after that, go and get Milenkovic. And if it does happen that we get Milenkovic and Romero, one man you can guarantee that's going to be super, super excited is Marcelo. He loves an absolute savage of a defender, and he's going to get 2 of them. He was all on about Milenkovic last season, so he's going to absolutely love it. So he is. But look, Jacko, why not get on the next guest? Put the question to her. It's Ellie. We're going to get Ellie on. I'll tell you who we have lined up quickly. So we're going to get Ellie on. Then we're going to have the magnificent Philip after that. Then we have Brad Matthews. Then we have Chris. Then we have Lazier, and then we have Chris. So that'll be the order. And Lazier is a nice surprise for you, Jack.
Yeah,
one of your fans living out there in New York on the streets. So look, let's waste no time. Let's get Ellie on and hear her thoughts on the latest Fabrizio Romano tweet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Ellie as well, though. Yeah, let me bring her up here, David. Ellie, it's so good to have you. It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining us again.
Oh,
Ellie,
can you hear us, Ellie?
Can you hear us, Ellie?
See you too.
Oh yeah, we got you there now.
You hear me?
How are you keeping, Ellie?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. All right. I'm really good, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ellie. You might just be a tiny bit behind us. Yeah.
I think you have a bit of a lag. Do you want to log out and log back in?
Yeah. I will.
We'll wait for you. So just log out and log back in straight away. We'll wait for you quickly. Big up, Ellie. A bit of internet trouble there, guys. Sorry about that. Aaron Dove says Davies can play left centre back in the back three as shown when he plays at Wolves. Yeah, that's a fair point. Steve Broom Harrington, Eric Dyer is going to be first choice. Nuno can speak Portuguese. Yeah. Terry Wright, good point. Cody Mack, I think they would. They want Varane money. He's the benchmark now. Reload says they probably know they're getting Tomiyasu, so that's one Spurs option gone. Tony Austin, I hope you're keeping well, lad. David says, what a fantastic lineup. Thank you, David. Thank you. I think we have Ellie back in here now in the back end.
Let me bring her in.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sound perfect, Ellie. Thank you.
How are you keeping?
I'm really well. I'm looking forward to all the questions you can ask me. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to let Jack kick it off this time. You know, I know you have a bit of a soft spot for Jack. I think you probably prefer him to me. So, look, we're going to let Jack kick it off with a bit on the Fabrizio Romano tweet.
Yes. Yeah, Ellie. So, I mean, this is apparently, you know, hot off the press, Ellie. This is hot off the press. A lot of people seem to be really excited by this, or maybe a bit concerned. Who knows? But, Ellie, apparently that Romano guy, you know, that Argentinian from Atalanta, you know, that one that we've, you know, I think said that, you know, has that very similar Højbjerg mentality, right? He is apparently Tottenham's 100% priority, according to Fabrizio Romano. And then as well, you know, if that doesn't work out, we might go for 3 different center backs if that doesn't work out. What do you think? Do you know anything about Romero? Would you maybe be like Spurs here and maybe just go full 100% for him?
Yeah, I would go full 100% for him.
Me too.
He's a beast of a player. And he can bring the ball out as well. He's fantastic. Like, you know, I don't know if you know Alan Hansen of Liverpool. He's the defence, and he's fast. It's like lightning, and he's skillful as well. You need that type of defender to bring the ball out. We haven't had that type of defender for a long time. We always have defenders who want to just stay in their positions. And maybe Sanchez a little bit here and there, but his ball skills weren't up to speed. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I hope we get him. I really do hope we get him. But if we don't, there's a plan B with the other 3 players. Maybe not as good, but you know, they'll still be good players. They'll still be good.
Do you like Kurt Zouma?
Do you know what? It's not that bad. It's not bad, but
he can score a goal.
He can score a goal from a corner, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think.
He's a bit. He's not 100% good, is he? You know, he's about 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so. We don't want the Chelsea. We don't like really Chelsea leftovers as much either. You might say, it doesn't taste good.
Well, they always go to Arsenal to retire.
Yeah,
you know, Czech, Willian, David Luiz. You know, them sort of guys. They all end up at Arsenal. Arsenal are Chelsea's retirement home, aren't they, Ellie?
Yeah, let him go to Arsenal. We don't want him. Get him Romero.
Speak 100%.
Did you see, Ellie, quickly, did you see Willian, you know, the former Chelsea player, you know, now current Scummer, you know, he seems to, you know, maybe have grown something, over the off season, maybe, you know, even more so than even Tanguy has, you know, what do you make of that? Is that maybe, you know, a good sign that maybe, you know, the Arsenal players, you know, might not be, you know, thinking about next season as seriously as our players?
Yeah, William Potbelly. Call him
He's had their transfer budget, Ellie.
The thing is, he's lost it as a player, hasn't he? He was at Chelsea the season before. He played us off the park when they beat us 2-0 at White Hart Lane. I still call it White Hart Lane. I'm not calling it the Tottenham Stadium.
Good memory.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. He played us off the park. Then he went to Arsenal, and he's like deaf, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which is good. It's good that he died.
Yes. He's become Spurs' favorite player. He's become Spurs' favorite player maybe over there,
Yeah. No, he's rubbish. You know, and then he's put on weight. Oh, he's going to be even slower, which is good for Spurs. We might finish 2 points above Arsenal this time.
But no, we'll definitely finish above Arsenal, Ellie, that's for sure.
Yeah, as long as it's 1 point.
But look, I don't really have any Højbjerg for questions for you today, so I know you might be a bit disappointed on that. But we are going to speak a bit about another goal, and that's Son signing his new contract. How happy, relieved that he's signed and it's done.
So happy. With Højbjerg, he's actually my second best favourite player. I like him even better than Kane. because he's such a good spirit, and he's always got a smile on his face, apart from when Luke's attacked him. Right, but he carried the ball out of the defence. He scores fantastic goals, curlers, just great shots down the middle of the goal, or the side of the goal, bangs them in. You know, I love him. He's such an exciting player. When he's on the ball, when he's not, he needs somebody to G him up, you know, because he sometimes goes a bit quiet, doesn't he, in games? Or he loses his touch. Or if they're not passing to him, he doesn't lose interest, but he just doesn't get in the game. Like Harry Kane, he'll pick up the ball and he'll make things happen. Yeah, well, Sonny, sometimes he goes missing, doesn't he? But if he can cut that out of his game, that would be fantastic. He'll be an all-round player then. I love him.
And maybe an unfortunate, maybe David, maybe an unfortunate follow-up question, you know, to what we were just saying about Sonny with that new contract. This is unfortunate maybe to say, but, you know, let's say if Harry were to go, do you think maybe Sonny, you know, you were speaking about how Sonny sometimes disappears. Do you think maybe Sonny might actually, you know, maybe step into, you know, that role that maybe Harry had, and he might be the one that, you know, we could rely on and be the one that, you know, could be an example for everyone else if Harry were to go?
I think Sonny can score 15 to 20 goals. It's not enough. That's the sort of level, about 15 to 20, isn't it? But if he was given more responsibility, I don't think he's quite there. You know, I love him as a player, but I can carry the line like Harry Kane can. I think we need someone like Danny Ings to come. We lose Harry, because he can do a Harry role. Maybe not as a number 10, but as a pure out striker. And let Sonny do the number 10, and with possibly Dele if he gets another chance. You know, if he starts him, let's see if he gets another chance. His last chance
so far.
Last chance.
He has to take the eyes out of his head. He has to take the hair out of his eyes first, Ellie. You have to catch that spider on his head first.
Yeah, it's a bit all over the place, isn't it? I don't know. He doesn't slap him in the face when he's running.
He probably has the same problems with hair as you do when you get up in the morning.
Yeah, definitely. I like Debbie's attitude since he's come back, because you see he is trying. He is trying, the lad, you know. But sometimes, like in the Colchester game, he was a lot better, wasn't he, than the Leyton Orient game?
Yeah.
So let's see if he steps up and actually plays like he did 3 years ago. I hope so.
Yeah.
I think Sonny Sonny
we
can
all
get
hope
15.
So.
Yeah. That's it.
No, we all hope he can. We all hope he can. Look, that's why I'm going to give him to January. After that, I'm not giving in any longer. You know, because look, I'm not sitting through here. I'm not going to be one of these fans that are going to give them 5, 6, 7 years remembering moments when they haven't done it in front of my eyes for the last 2, 3 years. You know, I'm not getting into that. We need new mentality at Tottenham and start cutting that crap out, especially with the likes of Lamela. You know, as much as passion and all as he showed, and as much as he loved the club, he wasn't good enough, and we kept him here for 8 years. It's mentality has to change. Karen Tim says we are going to win a cup. Do you know what? I love the optimism. I love the confidence. I really do hope we do. And we just have a super chat to get to here, Eddie. And it's from Mary from the Spurs episode. Big up, Mary. This is the guy I think that was on Bob Spur TV. I hope you're the same, Mary. I think it is. And it has to be plan A, 100%. Romero, no plan B. Zuma, Ali Gold is off tomorrow. No plan B. He doesn't want Zuma. Ali Gold is off tomorrow. Hopefully we seal the deal tomorrow. Excellent show earlier on Gil. So basically what he's saying with Ali Gold off, anytime Ali Gold has took a bit of a break this summer, that's when all the news has come in. So Ali Gold is off tomorrow, so he's hoping we get the Romano deal done. And you know, Jack, look, it was more so you than me, but he says excellent show earlier on Gil.
No, thank you, Mari. I really appreciate it. But as well, I think he's actually onto something there, David. With Ali Gold being off tomorrow, I think that just means that only chaos will ensue. Tomorrow in terms of the transfer market. In terms of Spurs, who knows? We might sign 2 or 3 players. While Ali Gold is off, and maybe even Romero. Who knows? Even some more might come in. When he's off. So to be honest, Mari, I think you're totally onto something. I love the optimism, and I really do appreciate the support for for the Gill episode. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Mari.
Yeah. And thank you for your support for the channel, Mari. Really do appreciate it.
Legend.
Anyone else want to keep supporting the channel, feel free to get in a super chat like Mari and OG has as well. Ellie, look, another legend we're going to speak about, Harry Kane. Look, it's up in the air at the minute. No one really knows what's going on. What do you think about the situation?
You don't know, because it's all, like you said, it's all up in the air. Nobody really knows whether he's staying or going. We're all hoping he's going to stay, but if he goes, we have to get a replacement straight away. We can't muck about. We've got to get him in, because it's on the 15th of August, the start of the season. Then we're playing Arsenal and Chelsea in this mini tournament. So, yeah. Nobody really knows, do they? 100%. Not even, main journalists in England. They don't even know. They're just speculating.
No, the glamour journalist at the Sun knows, Ellie.
Yeah.
You heard of Kim Kardashian.
Oh, my God. Kim Kardashian. She gets a mention again.
Yeah, no, it was the reporter at the Sun. He works in all the glamour and showbiz and all that stuff, you know. And that's where the report came from. Absolute disgrace. But yeah, look, we need to get the Kane situation sorted out big time. We really, really do. But look, Jack, what's your next question, lad?
Yeah, and sticking on Kane here, Ellie, this was kind of a tough one that I gave Joe earlier, and it's in regards to if Kane were to stay, with Sonny obviously staying, who's going to maybe take over that Gareth Bale kind of output from last season? Because Gareth Bale was, the 3rd highest goal scorer, came up with a few assists as well for the team. Who do you see as maybe being that, that person that's going to step up and become maybe the 3rd biggest goal scorer, or at least, contributor, in some sense of goals, for Spurs next season? Who's going to replace Gareth Bale's output, really?
Frozen. I think Harry.
No, you're grand.
Yeah, I'm back. So you want to know who's going to replace Harry Kane? Is that?
No, who's going to replace Gareth Bale's output from last season? Because he was the 3rd highest goal scorer, right? Who do you think is going to be the 3rd highest goal scorer this next season?
Oh, Uh-oh. It's not great. You froze her, Jack. The question's not great. You're back again. You're back again.
Should I say it one more time, Ellie? Should I say it another time?
Yes, please. I think
okay. Who do you think is going to be the 3rd highest goal scorer since Gareth Bale has left?
Oh, right. That's a good question. Well, I hope Højbjerg.
He gets a double. He gets a 10-piece.
Shot on him. He's got a shot on him, hasn't he? He proved that against Liverpool, and then he got the one against Wolves. So he got 2 goals. Wasn't a fantastic return. So we're not going to. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to be Højbjerg. I think maybe if we play Scarlett,
interesting.
I think he'll be up there. If he gets his chance, because if Harry Kane leaves, right, they're going to blood this boy, because I think he's ready. He's beefed up. He's fast. He's
growth
tricky.
Spurt.
He can score a goal from anywhere. He's got a good turn on him. I think he's a young lad, but why not throw him in? Look what they did with Wayne Rooney. Look at what he did. And I think this kid's better than Wayne Rooney. I think he's got the potential to be better than him. Yeah. What is he, 19 or 17? What is he?
Scarlett, I think he's 17.
He's 17, yeah, that's what I thought. Right, so he's 17. If you're I'm telling you, if you're good enough, you're young enough. That's what I say. I would give him his chance. Maybe play him in the conference early rounds, give him his chance there in the League Cup, the FA Cup. And then if he steps up and he starts scoring loads and loads of goals and we've lost Harry, give him his chance. Why not? He's a Spurs boy. He's been waiting all his life. He's been with us since he was 8 years old.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, I love that outside shout out, Ellie, to be honest, because this question has stumped a lot of people. They don't know who that third, biggest goal scorer is going to be. To be honest, I don't know either. And if it were to be Dane Scarlett, that would just be dream scenario for all of us. We would have, the new Mbappe. We would have the new Mbappe.
You know what I mean? I think this lad's got talent, and he's strong as well. Now he's been working in the gym and he's put on a bit of weight. You imagine when he gets to 18, 19, he'll be even better. And then when he goes in his 20s, he'll be the real deal. I actually think he's the real deal now. I think we should give him his chance. Because we did it with Harry, but we sent him on loan, didn't we?
Yeah,
we did.
But because he's got a bit more pace than Harry. He's a different player, but I think he can score goals. That's what we need.
Some think he's even a bit too precious, to put out on loan, so soon as well. Some think, he's one that we should just kind of keep around, just to, kind of nurture and whatnot.
Yeah. And like I said, Niall John as well. What a creative player he is.
Yeah, he looks like a good player.
2 stars there. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I can't see anybody else in the team who's going to score goals. Can you?
It's hard.
Who's going to score the goals?
Look, if Stevie B can get the ball under control with 1 touch rather than 3 touches or 4 touches, but then hopefully.
Yeah. That's the problem. Like I said with Lamela, his touch. Well, Lamela's touch is better than Bergwijn's, I must admit. He has got a better touch, but Bergwijn, he's got more pace and he gives you more in the defensive role. Like Jose played him more defensively, didn't he? So you didn't see the best of him. So I think if he plays more forward, maybe we'll give him a chance. I don't think he's going to score 20 goals, though. I can see him scoring 10, 8 to 10. Yeah. But that's it. We need to get Danny Ings if we're going to really make a challenge, I think.
Yeah.
Because he'll get you 25 goals easily.
Yeah, if he can do it for Hasenhüttl, he certainly should be able to do it for us. I definitely agree.
Yeah. I just hope we don't lose Harry. I don't want to lose him.
Yeah.
David definitely is there.
I couldn't bear to lose him. I'd be depressed for about a week in bed, honestly. Curtains closed. I'd be so unhappy if Kane went. He's my favorite. He was my favorite ever striker at Tottenham ever.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this man. I do anything for him, so I don't want him to go. I don't even want to talk about him leaving anymore. So I am going to move on because it really does upset me. So look, if Winks and Sissoko leave, Ellie, do you think we need to bring in a centre midfielder, or do we bring through the likes of Niall John and Harvey White and players like that, and keep them around as backup to our midfielders, or do you think we need to sign somebody?
Well, see, we've got Ollie Skips as well. You see him play again. You see him play last year for Norwich. He was pinning passes. He's
one of the best players in the Championship. Yeah.
He was brilliant. I watched him a lot in their live televised games, but I watched him a lot on YouTube as well. But he was fantastic for Norwich. He was passing long balls. He's very efficient. He's a very efficient midfielder. He doesn't lose the ball, and he goes forward as well. He's not like Winks, who doesn't turn. He turns and he gets on the front foot, and he leads the midfield. He's like Højbjerg, but without the beef. But he doesn't need the beef because he's an elegant player. He can pick the ball, pin a pass, keep it simple. I like him. I think him and Højbjerg are going to make a very, very good partnership.
Definitely. I like how you said he's an efficient player. I definitely agree with that. I think that's a good description.
Yeah, he is, because he's not the exciting player like, say, I don't know, Modric or Van der Vaart or Ginola. He's not that in that mould. But you need players like that in your team, because Højbjerg will do a lot of the defending side of it. So will Skip, but not as physical, because he hasn't got the physicality. But he gives you a lot going forward, and he can pass as well, the boy.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. And he's grown up in our academy as well. So these boys, they will play their heart out, and they'll play for the badge. They will.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Look what Man United done with all their youngsters. They went and
Because
won.
you and Jack must be having an effect on each other. You know, on screen here, both stalling.
We are. I don't know what's happening tonight.
No, look. And Jack, have you any more questions for Ellie?
I mean, David, I think she's definitely hit a lot of them here. Maybe a quick one is just maybe when it comes to, maybe, Kane staying, do you think maybe this could be, Kane's maybe last season at Spurs if he's supposed to be staying? Would this maybe be, his last hurrah? And then maybe Daniel Levy might sell him the following season? What do you think, Ellie?
I don't know. Do you know what? If we do really well, we win a few cups, I think he'll stay. Because he's a Spurs boy. He wants to win cup things with us. He's nearly got there. We've got the Champions League final, 2 League Cup finals. We've nearly done it. We've nearly brought back the bacon. But I think with Højbjerg there, we've got a very good chance. Kane is fantastic. I don't want to lose him ever. I want to keep him. I don't want to. Why sell your star player?
I don't know, Ellie.
You think players like Scarlett, how much he's going to learn of Kane? You've got to keep him. Yeah. We always sell our best players, don't we? It's about time we stopped it.
Well, I thought that's why we built the new stadium and the training complex.
Yeah. We sold Berbatov, we sold Sheringham to Man United. And they went on to win Champions Leagues, both of them. Maybe Berbatov didn't play in the Champions League, but he was sold, and obviously Ferguson didn't put him in. But Sheringham, he went to Man United and won the Champions League. Val went and won the Champions League 4 times. You think if we kept those players, we would have done that? Because those players would have performed for us. We mustn't sell our best players. Let's keep them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I couldn't agree more, Ellie. I couldn't agree more.
It makes me sad.
But look, you've been in. Sorry?
No, it just makes me sad.
She's frozen again.
Every time we got a star player like selling. Yeah. And I was just saying, David, it makes me sad in my heart that we're selling our best players all the time. We could have had a fabulous side.
We shouldn't be that.
And we replace them with donkeys. You replace them with good players. Now this Theirishyid's in. We're going for really top quality players.
Yeah.
And this Gill, he looks good. He looks very good. He's similar to Gareth Bale. We've got to beef him up a bit, get him stronger, and I think he'll be the real deal as well. Yeah.
Definitely.
Listen, he can't be worse than Lamela, can he? Because I liked Lamela because he played for the badge, but he didn't produce enough.
I think you're right, Ellie. I think you're right, and
His
hopefully he won't.
Were good, though.
Yeah. Hopefully he brings the Rabonas and a bit more as well.
Against Arsenal, that was fabulous. That one goal of the season, didn't it?
It did. I think it did for us.
Yeah.
But Ellie, I do think we, I think we have to.
I'll never forget Lamela, the way he had to go at Jack Wilshere. When he had to go at Jack Wilshere.
That was the best.
Yeah,
I don't know what he said
that was
to him,
absolutely
but
brilliant.
it wasn't very nice.
No, it was.
Ripping Spurs, Jack Wilshere, weren't he? He's married to a Cypriot girl, Jack Wilshere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's married to a Cypriot girl.
Wow. Sure. Sorry, they have your heritage. Yeah, he's married to a Cypriot girl.
Yeah, he's married to a Greek Cypriot girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where he gets his cheek from. We're all cheeky, us Greeks. You're going to see when Chris comes on. He'll give you a big laugh.
As he always does,
yeah,
Ellie.
Yeah, he does.
No, 100%. Well, look, Ellie, we do have a lot of guests to get through. I really do appreciate you coming on. Absolutely brilliant as always. You always put a smile on mine and Jack's face when you come on. So I really do appreciate you coming on.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Spurs. Know we trust.
Ellie, you go and enjoy your evening. Sit down with Tub Ben and Jerry's.
Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it,
Thank
Ellie.
you so much,
Ellie.
We will.
See ya.
Thank you, Ellie.
See you, Ellie.
Have a good night, Ellie.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Absolute legend, so Ellie is. Absolute legend. Great call. I always love when she comes on, But look, Jack, speaking of one legend to another, let's get on Philip.
Absolutely. Philip's been very patient, David, and let's bring him on here. Philip, how you doing? You just can't. I know you can. I don't think you were here for the last one. We did kind of miss you. You were off on vacation. In the sweltering heat. Maybe cooking up. Or whatever maybe you were up to. But we're good to have you back. So you can handle some of these tough questions late at night.
Yeah. Listening with interest to what's been going on so far.
You're right.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
it's going to be a very, very profitable, good week. Good couple of weeks for Spurs fans, I think, coming up now from what's looks like what's going to happen. Although you never can tell, but keep the fingers crossed.
Yeah, and maybe with Ali Gold, being off tomorrow, Philip, do you think maybe a lot of more of these signings, might be, coming through the door?
Yeah, could he take Wednesday off as well? I wonder.
Maybe the whole week, right?
Give him the week off. We could have a new team by Sunday.
He's the curse, right? All we need to do is just give him a week off, and the whole rebuild can happen in that time. Yeah.
Well, look, you were obviously listening to what Fabrizio Romano tweeted. So, do you want Plan A, Romero, or do you want Plan B and take the three of them?
I think Romero. I think
nice.
I think with Romero, okay, he is obviously the prime target. Okay, the fee is a bit hefty, but just on the full Patrici thing, I think what he's done in the space of a month is quite remarkable. I think what he's done, he's gone to Daniel Levy and said, listen, boy, you're the chairman, but when it comes to transfers, butt out. Let me do the business. Because I think too many clubs will not deal with Spurs. I don't want to deal with Spurs because of Levy, and they know the way that he goes on about stuff, Like, we've lost Jack Grealish because of Levy's meanness, basically. And I think even Southampton don't want to deal with us anymore after the last couple of times. So that puts Danny Ings very much in doubt. But I think Patrici has done a marvellous job. He's obviously so highly respected among the people listen to him. And I heard a great story about him during the week there, that when he went to Sampdoria, and this guy works 25 hours a day. He just does not go to bed. And apparently when he went to Sampdoria, he was staying in a hotel. And he spent the whole time in the hotel on the internet, researching players, building up profiles of players, the whole thing, until he went down to pay his bill and found they were charging him by the minute for the internet.
He was at an internet cafe. He must have been at an internet cafe. Yeah,
this was back in the day when you didn't have free internet in hotels and whatever. Yeah, but no, I think the guy can do us an awful lot of good. He's raised our profile in Europe to such an extent now that we're like, can you see 2 years ago, a year ago, us signing the likes of Romero? I really can't see it, And I'm hoping that as a result of all this, that Harry Kane could be sitting there and saying, hang on a bit, these guys mean business. They're bringing in players of this quality that I want to see at my club. And he might just say, this will please David. He might just say, I'm not going anywhere. I want to stay.
Wow, Philip.
Give it another season or two anyway,
I love that, Philip.
I really do. I was pretty depressed at the end of last season when we finished and, not going to do much. Now I'm ready to go because I think we get in Romero, get in. We've got Hill in. Although I wonder who's going to replace him in what you call the TV program. Is the image one of the guys in it? Can't remember what it was now.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, the very one,
Yeah.
the Big Bang Theory. Yeah, so they're missing something. Their loss is our gain, But no, he looks a good player. And again, he's a player that for 40 million, I don't think is going to be sitting on the bench. I don't think they're going to throw him in. I really do.
Wow, Philip, that was a fantastic answer, Philip. That was a fantastic answer. He had everything there. He absolutely had everything there. Maybe a bit further, maybe on Romero, supposedly, he has a bit of that Højbjerg mentality. What do you make of that? Do you think do we need 2 Højbjergs at least, maybe?
We need 11 Højbjergs.
Yeah.
Spurs have been too soft over the years. Roy Keane has always alluded to the soft centre that Spurs had. Wow, Alex Ferguson, come on, lads, it's only Spurs. That's what steer things like that. You want players there that are going to put the fear of God into the opposition when they go out on the pitch. Again, I'll harp back to my old thing, the Dave Mackay syndrome. Get someone in there who'll scare the shit out of the opposition.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to just mention Eric Lamela briefly. I've heard there's very mixed. Lamela is a really diverse character. Some people love him, some people hate him. I personally think he should have moved on a couple of years ago. But for that, if I was I was in the army and I was in the Battle of the Somme, waiting to go over the top in the trenches, who would you rather have beside you, Eric Lamela or Eric Dyer?
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you, it's Eric Lamela every night because he is a guy, he would die for the team. Okay, I know he was frustrating. He couldn't see a pass when we could all see it. He ran up blind alleys, but by God, he had a passion for that club. And I tell you, we're going to miss him. And that's why I hope Romero brings something more of the same back to us. Because we need leaders, we need winners, we need hard men. No southern softies in the midfield. We need tough guys.
Wow, another fantastic answer, Philip. Another fantastic 100%. Answer.
And look, you had your say on Lamela, so why don't you have your say on Toby as well, Philip? Another player that's
I love Toby.
He's out to Qatar.
I think Toby. I think he's when Jose went, I think that Toby left the club as well. Basically, I think he wanted to play under Mourinho. He kind of lost his mojo after that. Fair dues to him. We got a good price for him, and now he's gone out to pasture in Abu Dhabi or wherever it's Qatar. I mean, where he learned a bucket full of money playing second division.
The World Cup's coming up. He'll be the face of the campaign.
Yeah, but he learned a bucket full of money without really breaking sweat. He'd be playing players that are nowhere near his standard. So fair dues to him. He's been a great servant for Spurs, but like everything else, I think it's time he moved on. But then again, if we don't replace him adequately with someone like Romero, we could be saying in 3 months' time, Jesus, sorry we ever let Toby go. We miss him badly. As long as he's replaceable.
Yeah, fully agree with you. Look, 100%. We do have to replace him. But look, another player, Sonny signed a new contract. What's your thoughts on that, lad?
Oh, I mean, you can't. I mean, you could not fail to love the guy. I mean, he's just, he lights up the room when he walks into it. He watched the clip there of I think it was the final day at the Lane. Or maybe it's the final day of last season or whatever, where he was walking around playing with the other players' kids, messing with them and then having a crack with them. He's just, I don't know, he's possibly too nice. He just seems to be one of these guys. He'd open the door for a lady going into a restaurant, which is kind of guy in half. He's a real gentleman, Mind you, I'd say his father taught him an awful lot of that because the father seems to be a real disciplinarian, He's my way or the highway. But no, Sonny staying with us is a huge, huge statement. Because he could have got on his bike like Kane has been trying to do. But no, he showed his loyalty to the club and fair dues to him. And he is going to be, if Kane doesn't stay, which I hope Kane does stay, Sonny will step in to be the main man in that team.
I think you're right, Philip.
If he's not already. Because a lot will depend on Harry's mentality next season. If he can, get back to what he should be doing and scoring goals.
Right. No, right. And also, I think you're honestly maybe with Sonny's father being a bit of a disciplinarian, maybe Sonny might be one of the best good examples of that kind of fathering kind of style, you might say, especially considering nowadays a lot of people are kind of saying, you can't be as much of a disciplinarian and you can't be as hard on people. So maybe he's a good, shining example.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's not. I wouldn't say Sonny had an easy upbringing. I say he was. I've seen the documentary now, and he seems to have been really, really under the cosh the whole time. But look where he's got him. He's now one of the top players in the world, and he's been amply rewarded to stay. And he loves the club. And I mean, the club just loves him. I don't think I've never heard a bad word about Sonny from anybody.
I don't think you're allowed to say a bad word about Sonny because then everybody would immediately say like this guy can't be a Spurs fan. It's kind of like not really, it's on the same level as not liking Kane, or not respecting Kane for whatever reason. And maybe it just it just doesn't make sense. You can't be a Spurs fan and think that way. And
he's just a good guy. And how many goals he scored? Like if he can score, he scored 20 goals last season. He'll do the same again next season. Now, okay, we've got to get the support. Like I saw somebody write somewhere this weekend that if Kane stays, the Tottenham forward line will be the best in the Premiership.
Yeah. And speaking though of that forward line, Philip, this is going to be the tough question that maybe you put yourself into here. With Gareth Bale leaving, he was the third highest scorer. With Kane most likely staying, with Sonny there, the two biggest contributors. Who do you maybe see stepping in for that output that Gareth Bale had?
I can see a couple of candidates. Now, one of them has proven he can do it. The other one hasn't yet. I mean, I think Lucas Moura has proven he can do it. Maybe not consistently, but he can do it. Steven Bergwijn has been blowing very hot and cold. I think he's got a big season ahead of him, And I also think that the secret weapon could be Dane Scarlett. Maybe not in the league matches initially, but throw him in the cup games to get him going. I mean, and if you've got the likes of the human McDonald's behind them, Ndombele, so he's not done a Willian and come on with I believe his partner had a baby there recently, so I hope he's not showing having a belly as well, just in sympathy.
Not too many kids meals. No, hopefully he doesn't.
What's that?
He's probably eating the baby's food too.
Well, it's better than eating McDonald's anyway, I suppose. If he can prove himself, I really think we've got the ammunition there to back up that forward line. Lo Celso had a great Copa America, a very good Copa America. So I mean, he's another one that's again has not proved himself yet. So these could all be slow burners. Sonny was crap in his first season at Spurs. Look what happened after that. And Ndombele, I know, has had 2 seasons, but we'll give him a pie on that one. So I think, again, new manager, new outlook, new director of football who seems to be kicking ass around all over Europe. So these guys are going to know if I don't perform, I'm not going to be in that team.
Yeah.
We want players that are fearing for their life. Okay, I know they've only got the likes of Winks and Sissoko threatening their positions, but hopefully they'll be gone by the start of the season. And I think they probably will be.
Yeah. Definitely. And Philip, I'm just going to say the comments are absolutely loving you, Philip. The comments are, they're loving all your answers here. And even Russian Bear seems to love you as well here with a very generous super chat. And he's saying Philip is spot on as usual. To be honest, Philip, I will say you almost even maybe brought some of your best stuff today, Philip. Honestly, word for word, you've been brilliant.
Oh yeah, but I've been a fan so long. I've been through so many ups and downs over the years. It's great to have a bit of positivity. It really gets me going,
Yeah.
And, let's hope it's not a false dawn that we end up not buying any of these players that we're supposed to be getting. Like this new goalkeeper that's come in. He didn't do that well at Villa when he was here, but I hear he's a friend of Jack Grealish. So maybe if it's a good season at Spurs, he might say, "Yeah, come on down and join us."
Yeah. Good agent
That'd be
work.
nice. Maybe you can make up a little rap song for Jack Grealish because he's a rapper too, the new goalkeeper, Philip. When you listen to any of his music.
No, I'm not into rap now. I'm afraid I'm more a rock and roll man myself. So, Yeah.
I dig a bit of rock and roll, lad. I listen to a bit of everything. But just big up Russian Bear. Absolute brilliant super chat, man. Really do appreciate it. Everyone else,
Very nice,
feel
Russian
free
Bear.
to get your super chats in and help support the channel. It goes a long way to help supporting this channel, trust me. But look, Philip, I have to say one thing I've picked up is your renewed optimism. I absolutely love your positivity here today. You are pumped for the new season, aren't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Although there's one thing I saw tonight on the coming through, it's the kind of dampen my enthusiasm a bit. I'm hoping it's more rubbish, but Aaron Ramsey has been.
I know that was
Now I'm hoping that is more Sun bullshit. Wolves are supposed to be in for him as well, but I mean, And then, nothing annoyed me tonight. Sol Campbell telling Harry Kane to leave Spurs. I mean, why don't these guys put out? I mean, Teddy Sheringham was at it last week. They're all having their opinion on it. I mean, personally, it's nothing to do with them. And if that's all they have to do to make a living is come up with crap like that, then God help them.
Well, Solus Campbell has to, because he's not a legend at either club, Arsenal or Tottenham. So, Solus Campbell has to come up with these things to try and keep himself relevant. That's why that guy just really, really winds me up. He really winds me up. I better stop talking about it before I go too deep and probably get myself banned off YouTube, to be honest with you, because he really does fuck me off, Philip, that guy. But look, on to more positive things. Are you happy so far with what Paratici has done and is trying to do?
I will make a statement here. I think Paratici is probably the most important signing Spurs have made in the last 10 years.
Wow.
Because he's like the missing link. We had such a bad reputation in the transfer market because of Levy. That this guy has come in and people respect him. They know where he's at. They know where he's coming from. They know he knows the game. And he is, okay, he's only got a loan signing in and he's got Brian Gill or Hill, however you call him. Okay, there's better things to come. If he can seal the Romano deal, we are onto a winner here. And it'll not stop there. There will be other players come, maybe not this season, but there's a project on at Spurs, a rebuilding project, which I like the look of. And if he can continue to bring in, promising players who are huge reputations like Brian Hill. And is it Gill or Hill? Hill. Anyway.
Jack, this is one for Jack. I call him Gill, and that's what I'm going to continue to call him all season long, by the way.
So I think you can go with Gill.
They pronounce G as a H in some names. But anyway.
Yeah, I think you can go with Hill, but it doesn't really. Yeah, go with Gill. I think Gill sounds better.
A few goals, I don't care what they call him, But if we can bring in these players this season, that's going to mean we have a good season. Then it's going to happen this time next season. There's going to be more better players want to come to Spurs. I think we're it's looking good. That's the best way I can put it. Okay, maybe Nuno will have a different idea about the team structure. He might play a little bit cautious to start with. I don't think he's going to go do an Ozzy Ardiles front five for the first few matches. It's going to be a little bit more, work his way into the attacking thing. But, I mean, with God's sake, with the attacking players that we've got, we should have nothing to fear. Really, we should not. Yeah. And it's great to see Spurs at the forefront of the transfer market again. Not stuck in the back watching all what Chelsea are doing and Man City are doing,
Yeah, great point. Great point.
Definitely. Great point there, Philip. And then maybe you brought up Scarlett earlier, with Harry Stinks and, Musa Stipsoko reportedly being kind of shown the door, reportedly being identified as Deadwood by Paratici. What would you do with maybe these, vacancies or maybe hopeful vacancies in the lineup? Would you maybe just fill it with the likes of Niall John or Harvey White, or would you look for the transfer market to fill it?
Well, I think we've enough really for this season. We can get these other Romano and the likes of that in. I think we've probably got enough, because if you look at it, we're going to have too many players for the positions.
Yeah.
If you can have Skip, you've got Skip and Ndombele and Højbjerg, three central midfielders there. You've got Lo Celso. You've got what do you call him? You've got Bergwijn. You've got Moura. Then you've got Son and Kane up front. Hopefully, then you've got Scarlett. I mean, we have an embarrassment of really good players there, and then okay, that means there's got to be room to get rid of the dross. I mean, get rid of Winks. I think Villa was supposed to be. I wonder if we do a swap with Winks for Grealish. Would they ever buy it? No.
Cheers. I want what you're on, Philip.
Sissoko, I mean, he's going as well, and Eric Dyer again. We should get the guts of 30-40 million for those players, the three of them.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense.
That would really fund the Romano deal, so that's. I'm sure there's a bit of book balancing going on as well. I mean, Levy hasn't changed his spots completely overnight. He still has a lock on the checkbook, I'd say.
No, he's still paying himself the most. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So he's still got. Okay, we got 13 million for Toby. That was a great bonus when you think about it. mean, that would pay for one of the less expensive players coming in.
Might actually pay for Levy's whole salary. Even what he might even be paying himself.
Or it might buy Joe Lewis a new yacht.
Yeah, new art piece as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think it's very, very positive. And
definitely.
I'll just be. It'll be interesting to see what the likes of TalkSport and Sky Sports say about all this, because I mean they've had the knife into Spurs for years and always have, and whether they can see any positivity over these transfers, or they probably will barely mention them. Like the Wayne Rooney will probably get all the publicity now over those photographs for the next couple.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And Spurs, Spurs sign Lionel Messi gets to the bottom of one line at the bottom of the screen for 5 minutes. So no, it'll be interesting to see how Sky Sports handle this and TalkSport, and the likes of Jason Cundy on TalkSport, who as an ex-player has an absolute disgraceful attitude towards Spurs.
Yeah,
but unbelievably poor. Did you see the picture of him? The filming on the night of the Ajax second leg, where they were jumping around in the studio.
No.
And whenever they thought Spurs had been beaten, and then Moura gets the third goal, and Cundy just sits down as if he'd been shot. It was just so disgusting with the whole thing. So
no bad.
That's what I think of ex-Spurs players who do not still wear the badge.
Yeah.
Too many of them.
Yeah. He's doing it for the media. Look, the media money's took over. You know what I mean? He couldn't care about Spurs now. Stefan Blaise with the super chat. He says, it's great we're addressing the spine of the side. 100%. I couldn't agree more with you. It's absolutely brilliant. Trevor Kane says, Philip is class. Philip, comment section's going off here about you, man. They're absolutely loving you today. As they always do, but they're really loving you today.
Yeah. One other thing I'm just going to say about the team, Hugo Lloris, I think this is his last season. If he doesn't go before that, I just have this feeling that all's not right there with Hugo.
Yeah.
This might be the last hurrah.
Yeah, I think so. He won't go to Paris Saint-Germain now. They've signed Donnarumma, but I don't think he'll be here much longer. It's a pity because I mean he had a good season there for us, really.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Actually, yeah, that's we need to remember that. I think you're right.
Yeah,
100%.
Anyway.
And look, Philip, just one last thing. What's I didn't get to ask you last week because you were away sunning yourself down in Donegal in the weather, a great spot to be, by the way. But what's your expectations for this season, Philip?
If you'd asked me a month ago, I would have said we'd be lucky to get top 6. Now I'm kind of between 6th and 4th. Somewhere European places. Again, depending on how well these players gel in, how many we actually get. I think we're going to be there or thereabouts, and I would hope we'd be pushing for top 4. We might just fall short, but I think for next season to get in the European places would be good. I think the season after is the one we're going to have to watch. I think that's when we're going to really hit the jackpot. And we might win a cup. We should win the conference, unless we end up playing Jose Mourinho in the final and he does a job on us. The conference has got to be a priority. Play the teams that will win it. Mix it up. Play youth and play experience, but don't put out a team of 11 young fellas. It's a competition that we can't look down on. It might be the third tier, but it's still a competition we can go and win.
Yeah,
definitely.
100%.
Definitely agree, Philip.
Couldn't agree more, Philip. Well, look, you've been an excellent guest, man. Cracking the jokes tonight, really cracking me and Jack up. And I have to say, I really, really love your positivity going into the new season, Philip. And I'll be in touch and we'll get the 90 show out this week for everybody.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah. Good. Can we just do 91 and 99 because nothing happened in between?
I wish it was that easy. But no, we have to go through the years, man. We have to go through the years. Otherwise, it'll only be a half an hour show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it'd be 5 minutes if you did those two. Anyway. Yeah, listen, anytime you're ready, I'm here.
Perfect.
Well done, Philip.
Well, Philip, you've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, my man.
No bother, lad. See you soon.
Quickly, Ronan O'Donnell wants to know what part of Donegal you were in.
I was in Dunlow and out on the island, Gola Island.
No.
West
There you are, Ronan.
Next stop, America.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Well, look, you can pack me in your suitcase. I always wanted to go to America, Philip.
Right. Okay. We can't go in at the minute. They still won't let us. Apparently.
We'll find a way. There's always a way, lad.
Yeah, right. Listen, lads, good night. See ya.
Philip,
night,
you were
Philip.
absolutely
You
class.
evening, man.
You were absolutely class. Thank you, Philip.
Bye.
See you, Philip. What an absolute legend, guys. What an absolute legend Philip is, I have to say. We'll start with the super chat. He says, I'm here. Let me know when you're ready and I'll jump on. Yeah, Will texted me earlier. He just wants to vent. So, Will, I'll let you know, man. We still have a few people to go here. We have people that have been waiting an hour and that. So we're going to get them on. We're going to start cracking through them. And the next one on is Brad. Brad, my man.
All right, got my hat.
How are you keeping, lad?
Yeah.
How you doing, Brad?
Feel at home now.
Love it.
I'm fine, thank you.
I have to say, great appearance on We Are Tottenham TV earlier on today, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's my debut, my We Are Tottenham TV debut. Yeah, I was actually at work. Well, say at work. I was still in the same place, but I was actually working, so I was sort of trying to work and look at the same time. I had about my work laptop, 2 screens. This laptop I got now was all sort of going at the same time. But yeah, no, that's good fun. Good fun.
Well, I hope your boss isn't watching because you might be deducted an hour's wage.
I doubt if he is, but I mean, I tell him I say, oh yeah, I've been doing all these podcasts, sort of thing. But no, I don't mind. They don't mind. They're pretty. We're working from home and that, and they're pretty okay with that. You sort of say, oh, took 20 minutes off to to do whatever, have a cup of coffee, so they're fine. Yeah, they'd be fine.
Yeah. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Well, look, Brad, my man, let's get straight into it. We have a few things to cover. So we will start with Eric Lamela departing. You sad, you're happy. And, what sort of memories does he part you with?
I'm sad he's gone because I thought he gave his all for the club. But obviously that doesn't really win you anything. You have to have, the actual ability. Well, he had the ability, but we never used to see him play. He was always injured all the time. So I think it was always on the cards he was going to go, but I think it's the right move. I'm looking forward to this new lad to see what he's like. But Lamela, it's really weird. Everyone says, "Oh, you pick your favourite Lamela moment," and it's like, and people will come up with these different ones. I go, "Oh yeah, I remember that." But yeah. I do. Someone made it today actually. The moment in the Champions League final where we're defending the 3-2 lead with about a minute to go, and I think it was in our half. And it went to Lamela, and everyone was going, kick it, just kick the hell out of it. And I think he tried to make the play and then lost the ball. It's like, but that was the sort of thing he used to do. So yeah, that. And the other moment was the goal. I think the 3rd goal against Manchester United when we beat them 3-0. It was a great move, and he finished it off. And I think I was at the game, but when I watched it back on TV, he had what's his name going, oh Lamela, doing that sort of thing. So yeah, he had some moments, but with all the players that we're getting rid of at the moment, it's come time. It's the rebuild that Pochettino was going on about. We haven't won anything with these players, so unless you're Harry Kane or Heung-min Son, you've got to go, right? It's time. It's time to go. So sad. I'm sad to see him go, but hopefully he has all the success in the world. But, and then everyone was worried he wouldn't pass his medical, but
that's done. That's done and dusted, Brad.
Turns out he does have a right foot.
Sorry, Jack.
I was going to say, sorry to interrupt, David. Yeah, I was going to say, turns out he does have a right foot, is what everybody was going to be worried about in the medical. That, in fact, he had some mutation, or something like that, we were all very worried about.
Yeah, where's your right foot, Eric? He failed his medical because he only had one leg. Yeah, it'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Sorry, David, I interrupted your question there.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say to Brad, what does he make of all the news about the noise surrounding Harry Kane?
Well, as soon as the news came out in the Sun, I thought that's bollocks. Especially being on the front page. I mean, never, it's the entertainment reporter or whatever. I'm still worried, and I don't know you don't like to hear it. I'm still worried that at the last moment of the transfer window, we'll get an offer and it'll be, oh, bye-bye, and they'll sell him, which will be suicidal because if we haven't got anyone in to either support him or replace him, if you sell him right near the end of the window, then you're not leaving yourself any time to buy a replacement. So
yeah,
I think we need to get support for him anyway. We need to buy another sort of forward. I think someone made the shout Chris Woods earlier, which I think is not a bad shout. But yeah, just get a player that's like that will come and play alongside him or be backup for him. And I think that's what they need to do. And I like to see Dane Scarlett get games, but I think it's probably too early just to throw him into that role and say, hey, look, you're replacing Harry, because I don't think that's really fair on the guy. I think you've got to really sort of you don't want to burn him out too early by putting that sort of responsibility on him. So I'm. We hold all the cards. He's got 3 years of contract left. We hold all the cards. It's up to us if he stays or goes. I don't ever keep saying I don't think he'll down tools. He might have that. I mean, remember when Modric didn't play in that one game because he wasn't right, and then he had a great season. So I think that's what we'll see with Kane. I don't think it'll be like Ericsson, who subconsciously I think wasn't at the races. But yeah, it's going to be a tough sort of was it 3 or 4 weeks now to the end of the window? It's going to be. And they'll have to get someone to mop up the mess if he does get sold down at Sky Sports, because there'll be this collective. Well, I won't say it because it's a bit rude, but this collective at Sky Sports, because that's what they've been, wanting for years now. So yeah, it's which is really annoying. So.
And speaking of someone, we were just talking about someone who might sadly be on the way out. According to plenty of horrible rumors, but. Someone that is, confirmed to be sticking with us, someone that is confirmed to be, potentially a proper legend for this club. Son Heung-min, excuse me, our own Sonny. What do you make of this? Is this maybe something that we should be delighted by, that he's chosen us, that he's a true, just a proper Spur? He's just part of the fan base. He's part of the family, if not after this. What do you make of it?
You know what? Modern football, you don't get many players that stay at one club for a long time. And we're lucky at the moment we've got 2.
Yeah.
Sonny, I was over the moon when he signed. I mean, I wasn't doubtful. Everyone's doubting that it would be done, but I knew there were reasons. And I think when he signed his contract, I mean, it's brilliant. And I was really annoyed that, I forget it was, someone on Talk Sport saying, he obviously hasn't got any ambition. I think that was really insulting, I think that, and totally wrong. It's maybe, just maybe, some players actually want to play for the club because they like playing for the club.
They enjoy where they live.
Yeah, it's like us as fans. We won't say, Spurs haven't won anything. I think I'll go and support Man City because they win things. So I got really annoyed when I heard that. And no, I think it's great. The guy is brilliant for the club. He's obviously a great player as well. He brings in, obviously, the supporters. And now I might be able to find some South Korean lady that needs an excuse to stay in the country. So,
Oh, good there. But look, what's your thoughts on Toby Alderweireld departing?
Yeah, I think as soon as he said, I want to leave, I think that's you had to say goodbye, as sad as it was. Probably one of the best defenders I've seen at the club in recent years. But I think we had to replace him anyway at some stage. He was 32, going on 31, going on 32. So I think we had to replace him. And when a club offers you more money than you actually paid for him, I think the deal was there. And also if we're getting these defenders in, which we're linked with, well then it could be a situation where goodbye Toby, thanks for your service. I was a bit surprised he went to Qatar after saying that he wanted to go back to Belgium, but then he was never going to go back to Belgium and be on the same wages. So maybe this trip to Qatar is like a couple of seasons, make loads and loads of money, and then you can take the drop in wages when you go back to finish your career in Belgium. Although to my mind, when they say, he wants more money, he wants 200 grand a week so he can secure his family's future. My God, I mean, I could secure my family's future on 50 grand a week, 50 grand a half a year. It's like, it really annoys me. If you can't secure your family's future on 50 grand or 100 grand a week, then there's something wrong with you, basically.
Well, Brad, this is the thing. Sometimes the Egyptian cheats, and everything. You need one for each of the kids. Need one for each of the family members, and it's a lot of upkeep, Brad. It's a lot of upkeep.
maybe has he got a daughter? He's got a daughter. Maybe
I'm
he's
not sure.
Maybe he's thought of what's a pony or why?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, an Arabian horse.
Yeah, Arabian horse feed or pony feed is very expensive, Brad. Especially after you retire, it becomes more expensive.
Also, don't forget the World Cup is in Qatar next year as well, so he's probably going to be in the Belgian team. So it allows him to get acclimatised to what's going to be like out there. So it didn't surprise me. Sad to see him go, but I think it was the right decision, the right move.
Yeah.
And this has been the tough question of the evening, Brad. Who do you see as maybe being Spurs' third highest goal scorer this upcoming season?
You know what? I've had a lot of time to think about this. We've all seen all the other guests. I don't think it's a question of who I think. I think it's a question of there are certain players, they've got to make it then. Now, I'm talking about Stevie Bergwijn, who I think is probably only a goal away from getting his confidence. I think it's a confidence thing with him. I think he potentially could do it. You've got Dele Alli, 20 goals he scored one season. There you go, Dele. Here's your chance to prove yourself. You said you're ready for it. So you got him, you got Bergwijn. I'm not the new lad. I think he'll probably be eased in, and I'm not sure how many goals he scores anyway. But I certainly know that Dele Alli can score. I certainly know that Bergwijn has scored goals before. Another player who I think used to score for Real Betis was Lo Celso. I think he actually scored a few goals when he played for them, which he hasn't repeated. So again, it's up to him to sort of take the mantle and there you go, guys. Which one of you is going to give us 10 goals? Or all of you give us 10 goals, and that's 30 goals. So, that's what I think. So it's not really a question of who I think it's going to be. I think it's a question of, there you go, guys. You've got to make it your job to do that. Because we didn't, we relied on, as brilliant as they were, we relied on Son and Kane too much last season. And you only had to take even one of them out of the team, and you'd potentially losing half your goals. And you don't need that. You want that to be the icing on the cake. So you need the goals from the midfield. I don't know. I don't think Nondambele's known as a goal scorer when he was playing at Lyon, but So that's what I reckon with that one, definitely.
Yeah,
for sure.
And look, if we are looking to shift on the likes of Winks and Sissoko in midfield, do you think going into the season with Skip, Ronald McDombele, Giovanni Lo Celso, and Pierre-Emile Brickhouse is enough with the likes of Niall John kind of fighting for first team place, or do you think we do need to go and sign someone else in that middle?
I think the priority at the moment is our defence. I think we need to get this Romario in. I'm really, really hoping from what I read, and we've all read about Paratici saying you have to pay the money to get the players you want. I really hope that that happens. We need obviously that right back. So I need them to strengthen there. We need a backup striker for Harry Kane. If we can get those players in, then maybe look at the midfield. But at the moment, you're right. We've got quite a few decent midfielders there. You only really need one midfielder to replace Sissoko and Winks, don't you? Really, one to replace two of them. So But I liked Noel John. I thought he looked pretty good. I like Harvey White. So we've got some players in that midfield that can do a job. So at the moment, I wouldn't prioritise it, but certainly if we have some spare time, some spare money, then look at that. Unless, like we've rated on, a bargain comes along, somebody becomes available, then you have to go for it. You have to sort of take that chance. But I don't want to be in a situation like we were last season where we're suddenly, we need a defender. We ain't got time,
I do love that answer, Brad, especially, to some of the Winks fans, you kind of just maybe in a way just reminded them that, certain players can replace, the abilities of Sissoko and Winks in just one human being, it doesn't require, two, it doesn't require two, to be, you can't, right. You don't have to be a distributor and not also be, athletic and, strong and industrious. You can be both at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But Philip, you're blazing through these questions, I will say, and maybe even speaking of those midfielders, who would be the one that you would maybe want to come up and replace? Would it be the likes of, Harvey White? Would it be the likes of Skip, or would you go to the transfer market to replace one of those?
I've got my heart set on Højbjerg and Skip as anchor in the midfield there, because then I think I said this before. Then if you've got your decent defenders, if you've got a strong back four, a decent keeper, and those two sitting in front there, that's your defence more or less sorted. And then you can allow your likes of Ndombele to get forward, and your forwards to actually do what forwards are supposed to do, which is score goals. So I'm sort of, I think it might take a while for Skip to become a regular, because I think they've got to look out for this injury he's had. So he's as soon as you start looking at feet or ankles, then you have to be quite careful. And again, he's still a young lad. I mean, he looked to me at the Colchester game, I thought he'd looked like he'd been playing for years in the Premier League. But you still got to remember these are young lads, and young lads have dips in form, this sort of thing. But I do think in the future that will be those two as sort of like one further forward, the other one sitting back and then swapping over. Well, we haven't really had that since the Poch era, when you had, I think, even when you had Dyer and Dembele and you had Wanyama and Dembele, you had a good solid pivot there. And we haven't really had that since then. So I think I didn't really. I know it worked a few times, but I didn't really like the idea of Højbjerg and Ndombele. I think Ndombele is a forward playing player.
Yeah,
he's sort of player like. I mean, not wanting to compare it to Glenn Hoddle, but Glenn Hoddle was this sort of player that let him do what he does. Don't let him worry about tackling back or any of this sort of stuff. These players create stuff. With Ndombele, you've got a player where the opposition don't know what he's going to do, and that is quite.
Neither do we, though, Brad. We don't know whether he's going to eat a burger or play football.
This is the problem. This is the problem. This is what they've got to sort out. You've got to get it so that they don't know what he's going to do, but we do. So so that's the balancing act. But I think that's a good weapon to have, where someone they get the ball and you think, oh, what's going to happen next, sort of thing, because we were very predictable last season with a lot of things, and we. Clubs found out how to play us, and we didn't have that sort of, that little bit of nous to sort of, we do something different, which I think, players like Ndombele can do, and on his day, so could Dele Alli, which I agree with you though, David. Yeah, let's see how he goes. I might differ on giving him till January. I might say this is his last season at Tottenham to prove himself. And if he doesn't do it,
3 years ago, Brad.
Well, yeah, maybe I said it last season or the season before, but I think this is.
Look, we all have that one player. Now we all have that one player we love. To be fair, I let you away with it, Brad. I let you away with it. Lad.
I actually had to laugh when he missed that chance against Colchester. I thought the reason he missed it because he's put so much body strength up. Sorry, he's actually lopsided now, and the ball came and he just toppled over because he actually scored the goal because he fell over and he probably put it in with one of his.
He's so top heavy. Yeah. He's so top heavy now. He just fell on it. Right. Good finish. Then honestly, the way you're describing it, then def finish for sure.
No, 100%. Jackie, any more questions there, man?
No, I mean, Brad, is there any maybe last things you want to speak of? Because to be honest, Brad, I'm not kidding. You blazed through these questions very efficiently, but also you gave us fantastic answers for plenty of them as well. So, Brad, I mean, is there any maybe last final thoughts you have for us here?
Going back to Paratici and or Dom Fabio, I think it's looking good so far, but we have to get these players over the line. And I think that we're now, if you'd have said that we'd have been attracting this caliber of players a month ago, I'd have laughed. But we seem to be doing that, which shows that he has some sort of influence.
He does.
And the other thing is that all these players that have left because we haven't won anything. Well, the reason we haven't won anything is because of the players. You're the reason we haven't won anything. And I also think that if we do start winning stuff, then you're more likely to keep the players. So you buy these top players. You start winning things, they want to go stay. If you don't win things, they're going to want to go elsewhere. Because let's face it, the players that you buy in, it's very rare that they suddenly become connected to the club, like Son or like Lamela. It's very rare. If you're a Spurs boy, then yeah, fine, you do. But it's very rare that players come in and do that. So yeah, if you start winning things, then you're going to be in that sort of situation where players will want to stay at the club. And I did actually have one more thing to say, but I can't. It's got up my mind now.
About Stinksy, about Sissoko, about any of the midfielders. Maybe I can jog it quickly. Any of the transfers.
Maybe I did actually answer two questions at the same time.
No, Brian. Brad, you were fine.
We were.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I think it was. Yeah, the thing was getting players that will want to stay because we win things. And yeah, Tottenham Hotspur are a decent. They're a big club.
Right.
You know, let's not, you know, and if you're 20 years old, you think, well, actually, I might be playing in the Conference League this year, but I'm going to make sure that we play in the Champions League next year or the year after. So, you know, yeah, we're a decent club. We're the old sort of sleeping giant, you know, that old cliche, but we're a club, and we, you know, with Romario, he seems to want to play for us because probably playing the Premiership is a big attraction as well. So playing in the Premiership with Tottenham is probably preferable to him than playing in the Champions League with Atalanta. So, you know, it's you know, let's not play ourselves down all the time. Yeah, we've had some bad times, and I would never have thought I'd be saying this a month ago, but things change in football. So who knows?
Right.
Absolutely love the enthusiasm, Brad. I love it. Philip is rubbing off on everybody today. He's setting the chain. He really is. You know, if Philip's that or Brad's that excited now, he might go off and write a song or two for us on his guitar.
Oh, yes. Right. I'm gonna record a jingle for you. So
yes.
It's well, it won't be anything special. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of my own songs, so there's no copyright issues. But
love it. Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, it'll be very,
I can't wait to hear it, Brad. Can't wait to hear it, my man. But look, again, another two legendary appearances in one day. We are Tottenham TV and over here at the Irish Hotspur.
Class
brilliant,
answers,
Brad. Absolutely love it, and thank you so much for your time.
Cheers, guys, and crack a like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff.
Thank you, Brad. And also, again, I will say you absolutely classed up all those answers. You just efficiently just tore them all down. And in fact, even on some of them that are, you know, stumped a lot of people, you absolutely just, you know, shook them aside. So well done to you, Brad. Well done.
Cheers.
In fairness, he was waiting nearly an hour and a half. So
yeah, people are being very patient.
I've got it all on a big piece of paper on the board. So I'll put all that looking like that.
You don't even need to do that anymore. You can get paint that's a whiteboard now, so you can just turn your wall into a whiteboard. So you don't even need to do that anymore, lad.
You know what? I need that so I can write my lyrics down because I always forget my own lyrics. So that's a very good idea. I might do that.
Yeah, look, ring Dulux. They might be able to sort something out for you.
Oh, yeah. Great news today, wasn't it? Great news. We've redone our tyre deal with Goodwill Tyres. Wow.
I've seen that.
I saw that. Super excited.
Thrilling. Absolutely
that's
thrilling.
That's where the money's coming from for the transfers from Goodwill Tyres, lad.
Yeah.
But no, Brad, look, you have been absolutely brilliant, and I really appreciate your time.
Guys.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for coming on.
A lot of love here in the comments as well.
Come on, you Spurs. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Brad. You have a good night.
Big up, Brad. Another absolute legend, a legend.
And we've had two really patient people here, David, in terms of Chris and Lazy Nick, who I know is, you know, going to be making a debut as well, David. You know, they both have been extremely patient. Who should we go for?
Look, what I was going to say is I actually quickly need to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
And quickly, we're just going to give everybody 10 minutes because I still have to have dinner. I know Jack has one or two things to do, and we are going to run in a bit over time. So we're going to give everybody 10 minutes. But look, while I go to the toilet, let's bring on Chris. Because, look, I love Chris. I think he's hilarious. But I really want to be here for the whole of Lazy 8. I really want to listen to what he has to say. Okay. And I really want to meet him. So, look, I'm just going to run to the Jacks quickly. So you bring on Chris and take it away, and I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, hopefully that's all right with you, Lazy 8. We really do appreciate your patience. And Chris,
I just want to meet the man.
Yeah, and Chris, you know, someone who, you know, I actually forgot, you know, mentioning our last, you know, fan show, and you caught me on it right away, Chris. You know, my stand-up comedian. I apologize, Chris, for, you know, leaving you the way I did last time.
Hurt my feelings, Jack, man. Oh, that really hurt. That was worse than watching Winks play, man. That really hurt.
Was it kind of like maybe was it like a Daniel Levy, Steve Hitchen kind of stab in the back kind of situation?
Yeah, man, that was really painful, Jack. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
That's all right, man. That's all right. That's a one-off, Jack. I'll let that go.
Yeah, that all right. Yeah, just give me a break on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. First things first, I am so happy that Son signed that contract. Everybody's been moaning that, he hasn't signed the contract. He signed it for 4 years, yeah? And I'll tell you what, yeah, what he said about being at home, that really put a smile on my face, man. I am so happy. I am really, really happy that Sonny's signed that contract and shut everybody up.
Me too, Chris, as well. Like, do you think maybe Sonny could actually kind of become, you know, kind of the new face of Spurs? Because maybe it's kind of been Kane, right, for that whole time. And do you think maybe Sonny actually might become, right, the new face of Tottenham?
Yeah, I reckon so. He's shown what he said it. He goes, "I'm home. This is my home. This is my club. This is my home. I'm here." And if he didn't want to, If he didn't want to stay, he would have gone. He would have,
Yeah.
if he didn't sign that contract, he would have gone a couple of years ago.
And also, maybe, do you think as well, Chris, maybe the reason he might be becoming the new face of Tottenham is simply because he might be the best model, for the Levy photo shoots. He actually probably saves a bit of money for Levy. He's somebody, who doesn't have to use as much film. You don't have to tell him twice, where to stand, where to look, kind of player. Maybe that's also the reason. Maybe he's just the best for the photo shoots.
I don't think so on that one, Jack. Seriously, I don't think so on that. I think with Sonny, he just knows where he wants to be, and that's what he's done. He's just said, look, I want to be here at Tottenham. I want to win something with Tottenham. When he's saying words like that, you have to sit down and admire the guy.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, Chris. You shot me down for that. Thank you. You shot me down for that. Thank you.
He's the Mr. Nice Guy of Tottenham. Maybe a bit, but I think on the pitch he needs to show a bit more aggression, to be honest with you. But he's the Mr. Nice Guy of Tottenham Hotspur, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think even Ellie brought that up or something where, we've kind of said that he's, maybe in comparison to Kane, some have said he kind of disappears maybe sometimes. But do you maybe think that he could actually kind of maybe prove us wrong with maybe him like stepping into these kind of bigger shoes? He could actually be that person that, we actually start looking towards a lot more and actually won't disappear maybe with that reputation he seemingly has?
Given the right support, I reckon he can step up. Give him the right support. Give him the right players around him. I guarantee he will shine. If you've got the likes of Sissoko and Stinks and Diabolical around him, you can't expect him to shine. Yeah. And he will drift out again, because if he ain't getting the supply of the ball, what's he supposed to do? He can't be tracking back and forth, trying to chase the ball down, can he? Really?
No. And also,
you give Son the ball, he's gonna do his magic, and he's gonna put a ball in the top left-hand corner or the top right-hand corner.
You're exactly right, Chris. And I love your enthusiasm over the Sonny signing. And I also appreciate that, even with my, kind of my dark humor in terms of, his modeling career, I love that you shot me down for it right away, Chris, and considering this as well. I appreciate that. You're an absolute legend for that. And Chris, maybe my last question before, maybe David asks you one here. In terms of the midfield, this has been asked, with Stinksy and Sissoko supposedly going out the door. Chris, would you look to the transfer market to replace them, or would you maybe think that people that are already in the youth academy or already in the squad can replace them?
Tricky one. I wouldn't go for the transfer market straight away. Well, I'll give that till January to see what happens, but I would give Niall John a chance and also Skip. Because Skip, I'll tell you what, when he played that ball against Colchester, I was just sat down with my mouth wide open like, shit, he just put that ball straight to him. We're not even looking, he just straight on Bergwijn's foot. I'm like, now that's what you call a midfielder. No stupid little twists and turns, straight direct football. That's what a midfielder we need.
Do you even think it was that good of a pass that it actually startled Bergwijn? That's what it even looked like. It almost looked like Bergwijn didn't know what to do with it. It was that, to his foot. Bergwijn
was like, did that just come all the way from the left-hand corner of the pitch to my foot? What happened?
He probably thought it was Winks for a second. That's why he was so confused.
No, Winks was too busy getting his own selfies, man. Come on.
All right, David. Yeah, you ask Chris.
Outside
Chris.
stadium.
Yeah, man. When he got, I think Winks was relieved to be subbed off because he was like, "Oh, there's my adoring fans. I'll get my selfies in quickly." Do you know what I mean? But no, for me, Jack, it has to be Skip. Will probably give him the chance till January to see what happens, and if he does shine, we don't need to sign any other midfielders.
Love that. I love that. I think that's actually maybe the most ideal scenario. Actually, Chris, I think you're right there.
Because if we try to look. He's been on season 9 at Norwich, and he's done really well. Let's give him a chance now till January. See if he can perform the same way he did against Norwich, when he's at Norwich, and he can perform as like that. We don't really need to sign him because we've got the youth academy there, which is good enough. Now John probably could step up.
Chris, I think you're actually spot on. I think you're spot on because if Skip, continues to progress and actually steps into this new role, like you said, we can only have maybe more people from the youth academy that we could continue to push up. And if he proves to be, good enough, then it'd be kind of sad if we, accidentally replaced him with someone in the
exactly. Look, don't forget we've still got the UEFA conference to come, so we can use the likes of Niall John, the Dane Scarlets, and all that in the UEFA conference. So we can still use them on that. So it gives them match day experience anyway. So, but as I said, for me, I don't think it's worth spending the money on a midfielder when we've got some youth there who may be able to perform and shine, i.e. Skip or Niall John.
Yep. Definitely.
Good answer. Look, what's your thoughts on Toby Alderweireld heading out to Qatar, leaving ahead before the likes of Moon Boots and Grassy or Sanchez?
Well, do you know what? Yeah, Paratici is the god. If he's got 13 million for Toby Alderweireld, he's doing the right thing, man. That is a great sale. The Don Paratici must have kidnapped Levy and sent him somewhere far away with the Italian mafia, mate. No one's heard from him since. No, Paratici's doing brilliantly just to ship players out. Look, Alderweireld, you can see he was starting to lose interest with Tottenham. He was, as you said earlier, he was there for Jose. He wasn't really there for the team. He was there for Jose more so. And when Jose got sacked, that was it. It was like, you know what, I think it's my time to leave. So 13 million for him, plus whatever add-ons he's getting. So that's what would be 16, 17 million after all the add-ons? Poor. That is a good sell for, 32-year-old.
Yeah. It is. It is, to be fair. And look, another thing that's widely reported, actually, what on Fabrizio Romano, do you want deal A, which is Romero, or do you want deal B, which is Tomiyasu, Milinkovic, and that ex-Chelsea Kurt-Zouma?
Boy, if he gets Romero, yeah, I'm telling you now, Daniel Levy needs to step down as chairman and let Paratici take over. Because Romero, what a player, man. Yeah. What I can't say nothing bad about the guy. I watched him in the Copa America. What a player. He don't take no nonsense. He'll be knocking these strikers out of the way like they're not even there, man. But Tomiyasu, we could probably have him as a right back because we need to replace Aurier, to be fair.
Yeah. Do you know what my worry is, though? My only worry with Romero is he's that much of an animal and a savage. He might injure Harry Kane in training.
Do you know what, though? That might do us a favour, really, in the long run, because if Harry Kane gets injured, Man City can't sign him. Do you know what I mean?
His first day of training, Romero just injures him for the rest of
I'm sorry, Chris, but we cannot wish injury on Harry Kane, man.
No, I'm not wishing it on, but I'm just saying it might do us a favour.
He's saying like a 2-weeker, David. I think he's saying like a 2-week on a knock or something like that.
Right, a 2-week knock. Sorry, Harry, you can't go for the medical. You've hurt your ankle. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, looks worse. Looks worse than it really is. Kind of injury.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, I know exactly what you're saying, Chris.
But you know what? Another positive though is Brian Gill. What a signing we've signed there, man! I can't wait to see him in a Tottenham shirt.
Any nicknames for him yet?
None. What, Mini Messi? Oh, God, blimey! Brian Gill is absolute quality. I was watching some of his videos, and I tell you what, I think he's going to light up the Premiership big time.
Me too, Dave. Me too.
I think he's.
He already has his own song, Chris, as well. I hope you'll be singing it. You know that song? What's that coming over the hill? Is it a? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know what you're
saying. What's that coming over the hill? That's what we have to sing for him, lad.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? It's a bit sad to say Lamela gone, but thank God for that. No more players who've been there for 8 years, stealing a living, and being in.
Well, Ben Davies is still there.
But don't say that because Alex Davis might pop up in the chat now, man. Please.
He always hears it. He's like, yeah, he's like a shark.
It's too late in the evening, Dave. No, seriously, Ben Davis. Hopefully he just ships him out and just realizes because when you've got a left back,
I actually think he'd be part of the squad plans. You know, Chris.
Do you know what? I think if that's the case, he'd probably be just for the UEFA conference. Because I think Nuno will probably utilize Sessegnon more and. Regulon than he would Ben Davis, and Ben Davis will be probably reserved for like the Carabao Cup games and the UEFA Conference more so. So I don't think because Ben Davis still has that problem where he gets to the centre line and then he looks like he needs an A to Z to get to the goal. So you know what I mean?
He needs a passport in order to get across it.
Yeah. He needs to borrow Sanchez's GPS just to find us towards it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But seriously, but Ben Davis, I think more so he'll be utilised just for cup games.
Yeah. I hope so. Because he's not just going to turn into a marauding wing-back overnight. Anyway, that's for sure.
But Dave, what probably happen? He'll still be taken on the 7th tier European teams. You know what I mean? So at least they'll give him some sort of football.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I think Joe Hart. I think he's out the door now, isn't he? As well, because now we've got Galini in as well. So that's another positive.
Yeah,
Chris, we got Galini, but this was what I was going to say, Chris. Have you seen enough of Alfie Whiteman? Because I think he's actually not only going to take the third keeper position, but also take the head and shoulders position away from Joe Hart, take his third keeper position, but also take away his commercials. You kind of just feel bad for Joe, losing out to someone like Alfie Whiteman, so soon.
Not really. He can go back to Burnley.
You don't feel bad for him. You don't feel bad for him.
Joe Hart can go back to Burnley, mate. No, don't need him. Alfie Whiteman will be a good backup keeper for Galini in the UEFA Conference.
Yeah. He looks good on the bench. He looks good on the bench, yeah.
Because I think that's what's going to happen. Because Galini has to play, 20 games for us before we have the option to buy?
Yep.
Yeah. So if that's the case, I think because the amount of games that we've got in the UEFA Conference, it's going to be a case of Galini playing those cup games, and then Paratici will do his little Don magic again and say, right, he's played the 20 games, now we're going to offer you this amount. And you know what? Atlanta will probably accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think the rumor was that Galini had a bit of a row with Gasparini, didn't he? So that's why he had to leave. So I think Galini doesn't want to go back to Atlanta. So I think he'd rather stay with us.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, look, Chris, I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate you waiting in the background as well, man. Really appreciate it. And again, you cracked me up, my man. And next time I see you, I want a nickname for Ryan Gill.
Oh, don't worry.
Gill, sorry.
The mini Messi, you'll get a nickname from me. Don't worry.
Absolute love it. I'm sure I will. And I'll put my house on it. I definitely will get a nickname off you, 100%. But look, Chris, as entertaining, energetic, and as insightful as always, thank you very much, my man.
No problems, lads. Have a good one.
Thank you for
your evening. Enjoy your evening, Chris.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Chris.
Big up, Chris. See you later.
Thanks, Chris. Big up, Chris, also, especially for his patience, David. Really patient for us. Yeah. And as well, is always such a legend. He had the flat cap on as well, David. So big up, Chris. Big up, Chris. He was properly, had the proper attire.
Dress code. Dress code 101. Like we are talking, like Ben was saying on We Are Talking TV, it's the dress code, So big up, Chris. Big up, Chris. I have to say.
Absolutely. And Brad Matthews here.
And for his patience and everyone else still waiting. We are going to get them on now. Brad Matthews with the super chat. He says, cheers, guys. Always a pleasure. Big up everyone on this show. Hashtag Aris Army. Hashtag come on, you Spurs. Big up, Brad. I really do appreciate it, Brad. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Gaguma with the super sticker as well. Thank you so much, Gaguma. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you're having a good evening. And I'm not going to call you man. I made that mistake last week and you corrected me. You are a woman. So thank you very much. And I did remember. So thank you so much for the super sticker and helping support the channel. And Philip Brady as well says, just spent the last half hour watching Brian Gill videos. He is going to give defenders nightmares. What a signing. Philip Brady, I absolutely agree with you. Looking at the videos, he's twisting people up left, right, and centre. Jack also gave the lowdown on this guy as well. If anyone wants to see it, check out that video we done earlier today. Jack breaks it down with a few stats and everything else, and maybe a little hint of what's to come the season of stats, or it could be 10 times better. Who knows? That's just a waiting game, but it's for you guys to wait and find out. But big up, Philip. I fully agree with you, man, and I can't wait to see him break a few ankles in the Premier League with his skills, Philip. Absolute legend and great show earlier on as well. I absolutely love it. Everybody else, feel free to keep getting the super chats in, keep helping support this channel. It really does go a long way. A lot of new content coming this season, and plus, I know it's going to be sad times for everyone, but it's going to be at the end of the phone in a couple of weeks, and we're upgrading onto a computer, which I already have, just waiting to get everything set up and in place, and basically letting unleash it come the start of the season. So big up everybody, and thank you so much for everyone tuning in so far. It's been absolutely insane for a fan show. I think it's been record numbers today. But look, one guy who's been very, very patient here in the background, and he's a guy, he's been incredible to us. He's a huge fan of yours, Jack, and it's Nick, aka Lazy 8. Nick,
what's up, fellas? Actually, can you hear me?
I'm going to let Jack take this one because, Jack absolutely loves you as well. So, Jack, take it away.
You sound glorious, Nick. You sound glorious. You silky boys. How you doing, Nick? Good to meet you now.
I'm chilling, man. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here, man. It's hard coming up against Chris, man. On the back of that guy is spotlight center stage every time. I feel like second fiddle.
No, Chris, or no, not at all, Nick. Not at all, Nick. Especially Nick. To be honest, I've been absolutely dying for you to come on. You've been way too generous to us over this time period. And to be honest, you also see a fellow man from the same borough, I believe, if I'm not correct. Absolutely, as well, man. to be on this show is actually sensational. What a small world we're in, especially that you even know Eastern Parkway. It's just the idea of what a small world we live in. And
bro,
also, thank you, Nick.
I've been running down Flatbush Avenue, running up on everybody in an obscure Bundesliga kit that I can, and I still haven't hit you yet, but I'm gonna hit you once.
Every time I'm on Utica Avenue with whatever obscure Bundesliga kit.
Watch out for somebody coming up behind you. Don't worry.
No, but that's what helps though, is when I'm on Utica Avenue. Sometimes maybe not the best time, at certain parts of the day, but I will say with the Bundesliga kits and with the flat cap, you can only be safer. They think you're the wisest man out there, I will say.
True enough, man. I had to come on just to say my farewells and show my love to Coco, man. God bless and happy trails, my friend. Listen, I love the guy.
I love that you love him.
There, he even, he had a couple of good goals that season for the half a season that he was fit.
Mm-hmm. What is it about him that you love? Is it the mentality? Is it kind of that scary look in his eyes?
I don't care what you got to say. The man had skill. The man
he did have the tuckers.
He couldn't see a pass, that we could see, but the man has skill, and certainly the effort. It was the love that he put. Yeah, everything was on the pitch. And you could see it in his eyes. And he had really, really tough time, man. People talking about he should have been gone 4 seasons ago, 5 seasons ago. Let's remember exactly what happened 4 seasons ago, 5 seasons ago. I remember that third season Poch was in. He started in the ICC in the preseason. I'm looking, Lamela's decision-making has come miles in just those 3 ICC games. Boom, hip injury. He's gone for a year, gone. Boom. And then the problems with his family, that basically turned into a year and a half. He basically didn't play right there.
No.
So give the guy a little break, and give him his respect and his due. That's what I say, bro.
And Nick, maybe then, just in case, just because I actually love this, a bit of optimism, maybe a bit of this kind of revisionist history, you might say, or maybe the correct history when it comes to Lamela. What do you maybe say then to David, who's been saying, he's been a little bit too upset, about maybe the dog, passing away and, things like that? Because I'm pretty sure you've heard, that probably before. What do you say to that?
The dog, you got me on that one. The dog passing away. Hold on. Enlighten me here, please.
It's true. It happened. It was when he was out for a year and a half. His dog passed away, and he was so upset he couldn't come back.
Pets are family too, David. People get very emotional, and if that's the case, I feel for the guy as well. And you know what? The fact that Levy kept him around,
you know that.
That's all right. It's an attitude. It's about the borough where you're from, man.
Right.
It's where you
right.
What? I love it, man. I love it. You speak so well, and you're so confident. I absolutely love it. Look, with Lamela, I can see what you're saying with the hip injury and, going out with the family problems and his dog dying, whatever else. But, that's when we should have cut our losses. That's when we should have known, look, especially with him being out so long for the year and a half, we should have said, look, this guy doesn't have the mentality to take us where we need to go. If we are talking, of trying to win the Premier League, trying to win the Champions League, stuff like that,
Mm-hmm. We were in a period, too, though, remember, when it crossed over with that 18-month period where no money was spent in there. So there was obviously something going on, something with the stadium being built, something with the finances where Levy was thinking, let's just hold on to players. We could squeeze a little more out of it. So I don't really blame Lamela for that. I
don't blame Lamela at all. Yeah, I agree. I don't blame Lamela. I blame the club. But that's what I'm talking about. That they let it happen too long. I don't blame Lamela. Look, I agree with you. Lamela, look, he's done nothing but love the club. Whenever he's played, he's done nothing but show desire and passion. Look, last season, he came out one of the better players purely for that. Yeah. But over the course of his career, for me, desire and passion just isn't enough, bar last season, because we've seen so many players give up last season. But to survive that long at a club, that's just not enough for me. You have to show more.
Yeah, it comes down to end product. But you know what? We brought in a person that can make deals, obviously, from what we're seeing right now. And he's been used as a bargaining chip to get possibly one of the best deals so far of this transfer done, out of nowhere. So I think Lamela's been sitting in the background there as a bargaining chip for ENIC, for Levy in general, and Paratici's the guy to come in and make use of it. And I think that Davinson Sanchez is sitting in that position right now too, because he is a valuable person. He is a value. He has value to other clubs more than he does to our club right now.
Whoa, well said. Actually, that's actually well said. And maybe is that where maybe kind of even this Koundé kind of thing comes from, is where Sevilla see him as maybe they can see, oh, listen, like obviously he hasn't done well at Spurs, but maybe we can actually get something out of this guy. Is that maybe what you're saying?
I think that's exactly what it is. I think that Sevilla knows that they have to cash in on Koundé now. If they can get it, they can hold on to him, but that's going to waste time with Madrid maybe getting somebody else in, the big clubs maybe just bolstering from other areas. So why not get Koundé off the books now and get in a Sanchez that they think that they could use that's, going to save them some money. Right.
And a super chat in here from Aaron Dubb here. David, did he put in a comment about it, or is he?
I think it's just, Catman wants to get Eric Lamela a flat cap for his service. So I think Aaron Dove is just donating to that cause, I think.
Absolutely.
Big up, Aaron Dove.
Big up, Aaron. Absolutely, really generous of you, Aaron.
Absolute legend. I really do appreciate it. You're too kind, Aaron. And look, I'm sure, if we can get Lamela's address or a way of sending it to him, I'm sure we'll send him a flat cap. And Gaguma says, thank you and good luck to Lamela. Yeah, 100%. Look, I don't wish Spurs, I don't wish Spurs players, any badness when they move on to the next club. I always hope, that they do well and everything else like that, even if they haven't worked out with Tottenham. Nick, some great insights already, so I'd love to hear your insight on this. The Kane rumor. Is he going? Is he staying?
That's what I have to say to that, man. It's paper talk, man. We got. Listen, I got a lot of theories. You could call them conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
I think that when things started to go south with Mourinho, which was around the holiday season, a little bit after Christmas, when it really started to go south with Mourinho. I think that's when the Kane camp started talking to each other. And I also think that's when the Sun camp started talking to each other. And they all started going, hey, what's going to happen here? I don't think that Kane's going anywhere. I think there's a lot of paper talk going on. I think there was some conversations that was said at his brother's wedding that they had, a reporter in the bushes somewhere, with a microphone trying to get something down, and it's all being blown out of proportion. Of course, this is Tottenham. Do not ever doubt a last-minute shocker. At the end of the season, that could happen. But I don't believe this money is being the money for the transfers is coming from a Kane transfer. I don't believe that at all.
Love that.
And I don't believe that the finances of this club are as bad as they've been made out to be over the last 12 months either.
Interesting.
There's a lot of other deals with a lot of other players. Amazon could be, some other, big companies out there that have investments into Tottenham that are under the radar that we just don't know about.
That might even become bigger investments or more public investments. Even.
Yeah.
Stadium naming rights.
Maybe the naming rights.
And, the massive Levy Land operation. This is it goes way beyond the club, And you know what? Another day and another time, I know that we don't have time now, but I'll explain to you why I am not eating.
No, go on.
No, why I am not eating out. That'll take forever. Yeah, I'll have to write you an email about that. But I know you got other people waiting. You got time out.
We'll have you on for it.
Go on. Give it to me. Give it to us. You waited long enough. Go on. Short time. Take your time.
All right. The reason I'm not Enoch out is not because I dislike Enoch or I'm happy with the way the club's been run, particularly over the last 5 to 6 seasons. But I don't want to see this fan base go down the same road as them up the road, and as the Newcastle, as so many other clubs who have an out campaign that goes nowhere, that just fizzles out and has them looking like fools. Now, Enoch, Levy, Joe Lewis, these people are part of a larger investment firm, and Tottenham Hotspur Club is a key part of that portfolio, which is largely a real estate portfolio at this time. These people are not ever going to sell this key part because it's part like physically and real estate linked to this deal that is not something that they're building up to eventually to sell to somebody else. This is an investment that they're putting more money into so that they can get more money out of it. So they're not selling anything anytime soon. I mean, if you think that some billionaire oil magnate is going to come in and take over the club and change it just because we're yelling Enoch out, you know, in the parlance of my host here, like feck they are, you know, what's going to happen is the fan base is going to have to come up with very specific goals and things that they want to see changed. And I think that's what I want to see on people's slogans. I want to see, what is it about Enoch specifically that you want them to stop doing? Is it Daniel Levy resigns? Is it have Daniel Levy resign as chairman? Is it, you know, they have been making some moves too. I mean, obviously, Paratici's come in, and he's obviously the new face of making things happen at this club.
Interesting.
Is that what? Is it other parts of the development of players? Is it the transparency about what's going on behind the scenes? I think we need to focus, not be yelling Enoch out all the time, Enoch out, because all that does after 5 years is the same thing as make us all look stupid. You know,
I think you brought up a lot.
Does.
Yeah, I think you brought up a lot of things there. Can I just quickly clarify? Is one of those, like with the fans, is, you know, one of those is just the fans, maybe you're saying just have to be, maybe just unite together and just figure out what they actually maybe want from Enoch or what they want from Levy is what you're saying?
Exactly. Focus, find out what the agenda actually is, and then put it to them. And then put it, say very specifically, we want you to put more into development of young players, and we want to see them on the pitch for a particular point, you know, for 20 games a season or something like that. And arguably, we're about to see that. I hope we're about to see something that looks just like that.
I think you put your case well there, David. Nick. David, what do you make of his case here? I think he's maybe it's not even. I think you might even kind of be selling yourself a bit shorter. Maybe, you know, making your argument a bit harder by saying you're not Enoch out. It just seems like you're a bit more Enoch, you know, clarity or Enoch clarity.
Enoch shape the hell up.
Enoch reform.
Enoch pull your finger out. Basically.
Yeah, I think you might be even, you know, making it harder on yourself by saying you're not, you know, totally Enoch out. It just seems that you're a bit more, you know, with Enoch, but as well as what you're saying with the fans, you know, a bit more clarity, a bit more, you know, I don't know how you put it. It's just like objective, right? Where we're supposed to be saying what we want to be accomplishing, what we want Enoch to do for us is maybe what you're saying.
Make it look like the people involved who have so much invested into this actually are together about it and have a well thought out agenda, you know, that can actually make something happen, you know, rather than just get the fucking get them out, you know.
Well, I have to say you are spicing up this fan show, man, because look, not only do we have Will Stewart on a rant, and I actually genuinely don't know what he wants to rant about, right? But we have Brian Daigle and Bob coming on next together, you know. Right. So I'm sure if you stay tuned after you're finished here, Nick, you know, I'm sure they'll have one or two things to say. So.
I may have stepped right in it.
No, look, everyone has an opinion. Everyone's more than entitled to their opinion, man. And you know, you raise some good points as well. You know, look, not everybody's, and to be honest with you, to the two boys, they actually like speaking to people who have different opinions to them, that don't just agree with them, Enoch out, this, that, and the other. They actually like speaking to people who are even Enoch reformer, who are even Enoch dinners. You know, so to be fair, they do like listening to other people's thoughts on it and everything else. So look, it'd be interesting to see what they have to say next. I do have to say that. But look, what's your thoughts on Sonny signing a new contract, man?
Oh, like, if you know me, you know, if there's anybody I love, it's Mr. Smooth. And I'm going to disagree with I think it was Phil or Chris, because I think he is the new face, and I think he's been coming to be the new face for some time. You know, I mean, once Kane leaves, who else is it going to be? Obviously, it's Son. You know, we have to bring in somebody of more value than him to overtake him as the face of the club. So let me ask you guys, what do you think Sonny is worth right now? If we were to sell him, how much do you think we could get him for him? And who would come in for him right now?
This
you know
is the
what?
thing, though, is that maybe I might quickly say, Nick, this is the thing. Maybe what it's proving with Sonny is that with the amount of revenue that Sonny brings in, not only because of his footballing ability and practically being already, if not already, the best South Korean player of history, of his whole nation, of all time. He's already passed Ji-sung Park and everything. So I do really feel like, if they consider that, if they also consider that he is already reaching kind of his prime age anyway in terms of performance, you kind of just think that he's going to be selling more shirts than Harry does. He's going to be having much more of an appeal worldwide than Harry does. Maybe that's what they're thinking, is that there really is no price, to sell Sonny for.
I think you hit the nail on the head, bro. And I think that's why this contract,
why they gave him this contract.
Yeah, and why it's been dragging on for so long. Because again, goes back to when things started to get shaky with Mourinho, and everybody's team started looking around and saying, "Look, is this going to really work? What's going to happen if Kane leaves?" And Son's team starts going, "Well, if Kane leaves, guess who's number one man? Let's start renegotiating, and then renegotiated some more after that."
You might be right there. You might be right there. I think that's clever. That's very clever.
Yeah. And look, as well, another thing to add is just, look, you have to take into account the revenue he brings to clubs as well. So you can probably add that on top of what he's worth, because, the amount of revenue he brings is absolutely crazy from the Asian market. Anthony Gray says, "Can't you get Will and Brian on now while Nick is still here and Bob?" I would, but honestly, I do want to have my dinner this evening.
Yeah,
I do want to have my dinner this evening.
Yeah, that's a little pressure right there. Have
too
him
much
on either
pressure
side
on
of me right there. Be like,
Yeah, I would say also, Nick, again, you've actually been incredible in your debut here. Maybe for your next one, for your next show, Nick, maybe we could sandwich you in between some people and see how you fare, see how you come out. But for this one, it's still his debut, guys. He's still trying to, give his points across. We're even trying to get to know Nick here. Like, this is the first time I'm meeting him as well in person. I'm putting a face, to a lot of the messages that he and I have exchanged with each other. So, to be honest, I'm being a bit selfish here. I kind of want to get to know Nick, more myself.
I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love. I just want to say, thank you to you guys for what you guys have been doing, especially over the last 12 months, man. It's really, with all this lockdown BS and all that, it's like, we can't go down. Well, we can now, but I wasn't able to go down to the local and watch the matches for 18 months. And, having you guys, we are Tottenham TV in here. It's like being with your friends,
Wow. Thank you, Nick.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
No,
really appreciate that.
I really appreciate that, Nick. But look, as much as it's been good for everybody else, it's been good for me personally. It's been good for Jack. It's helped us get through the lockdown and everything else, interacting with people and just finding gems like yourself, Nick. Look, a lot of people are absolutely loving your appearance here today. The comments are going crazy about you, man. So absolutely brilliant. And I hope we do get you on again. I hope we see you here a lot more often.
All right, thank you, bro. I didn't turn I turned the comments off just in case I was getting pelted. I didn't want to see them, But
no, you didn't, lad. You didn't. The comments. Look, I'll show you. I'll come. Big up Gaguma as well. He. Nick's photo of Son, absolutely fantastic. She loves the photo of Sonny that you brought up, and so did I and Jack. But look, I'll prove it to you. Everyone here
loves you.
Yeah. Much appreciated to everybody out there, man. Come on, you Spurs, man. We all love this club. The reason why I started following you, David, is because I said some of the things that came out your mouth. I was like, damn, nobody else puts it like that. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's my heart.
I love that, Nick.
I like that too. Look, I try to be up front and as honest as I can. I'm straight to the point. I don't give any of this riffy-raffy stuff, and I don't think you do either. But look, Nick, I have to say, I would love you to message me on any of my social medias, Twitter, or even my email address is below, and get in contact with me. I would love to get you on again.
Without a doubt, bro. Without a doubt. It's been an honor and a pleasure, boys.
Nick,
it's been absolutely brilliant. And look, sorry I didn't get to speak to you as much today, but I know Jack is a huge fanboy, so I wanted to give Jack this time. But next time you're on, man, we'll have a good chat.
I'll see you on the street tomorrow, Jack. I'll find you.
I'll just be walking back. I'll be walking back with the groceries with a bit of the Ben & Jerry's from Utica Avenue. You'll be seeing me on Eastern Parkway with the flat cap. I'm sure you won't miss me.
All good. All
right, love it, Nick. Thanks for coming on. You were absolutely class, man. You were absolutely class.
Thank you, boys. Come on, you Spurs.
Make sure you message me.
And Nuno we trust. And Nuno we trust. I love it. Thank you.
Enoch, fix your shit.
Rattle him up. I love it. Thank you, Nick. Honestly, class. David, that was class. Brilliant. That was class. Everybody loved him as well. Everybody loved him.
I want to say as well, thank you for waiting so long, Nick. I really, really do appreciate it, man. Incredible. Well. And you've been absolutely brilliant. You come on, you smashed it out of the park. And like I said, make sure you get in contact. Please do.
Definitely, Nick. Please, please. And also, Nick, again, if you do see, somebody, who's maybe standing out a bit on Eastern Parkway with the flat cap, please don't hesitate to holler. Please don't. I'd be happy to see you in person. But David, it was just incredible to put a face to the name.
No, it was. Look, that's what we do here, Jack. We see names, we get names, and we slowly unearth them, We slowly unearth them, my man, so we do.
Absolutely.
But look, we have 3 legends coming on next. Will said he doesn't want his own time. He's happy to come on with Brian and Bob. So look, what we'll do with these guys, I think we'll give them 20 minutes to 25 minutes. And then I do want to make time for Shamu at the end. He kindly hopped off to try and give Nick and that a bit longer. But Shamu, I'm going to make time for you, my man. So please do hop on, and we will get you on before we finish this show, if you're still tuning in. But guys, look, who wants to take off? Should I let Will take off on his rant first, or should I let Brian and Bob respond to Nick? I don't know what to do here, Jack.
I've got to say, I've got a rant myself, but it's not about what Nick said. Nick was incredible. Yeah. And his views on what he had to say, phenomenal. As you said, I won't come on and just go because I'm so, funny enough, leave you out. I will never go against everyone's respect for their opinions, but I do have a rant. But Will has said that he's got a rant before I said it. So, Will, I'm going to give you permission to have your rant first, but damn, do not steal my thunder.
No, we have to let him have his rant because I'll be honest with you, Reload has been in here, and I think he or she has just been in here literally waiting for Will, because all throughout the show, I can't wait to hear Will's rant. So, Will, look, take it away, my man.
I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but my beard is even all frizzy. That's how upset I'm at. It's all puffed out, like a lion ready to attack. No, and I'm gonna piss off a lot of people in the comments too. So I hope you're ready, folks in the comments, folks at home. I hope
just before he does, I do want to say Will's thoughts are not my thoughts. Don't unsubscribe.
No, where I'm at right now, and what really is upsetting me, is the fact that have we learned nothing over the last, well, at least my last 12 years of supporting this club? The Brian Gill signing. That's what I'm upset about. I'm not upset that we signed him. Okay. I think it's a good signing. But all this messy talk is ridiculous. It's absolutely diluted. It is not based in any form of reality at all. Right? I've watched the guy's all touch videos, his compilations, matches, the Olympic match that he's played in, everything I can see. And he's almost as one-footed as Eric Lamela. He's almost as one-footed as Eric Lamela. I look at this as a like-for-like replacement, maybe with a better injury record. Right? How does this signing, it's a good prospect for the future? Okay, I agree, right? Possibly a great player in the future? Sure. Why not? Somebody that we need to get excited about right now? Fuck no. Okay, we go overboard here. It's what Tottenham fans do. We sign some guy, and the next thing you know, he's the next freaking rock star to ever happen. And he's not going to come in here and replace the goals that Gareth Bale scored, period. The only way that this transfer window is successful, only way, is if we sign 2 center backs, 2 good, great center backs.
Thunder stolen, but yes.
Romero. I won't go into the center backs, but Romero, right, is one. Okay, I'm cool with that. Koundé, I don't really want. One other. And a right winger. We need a right winger. We don't have one. And this talk about all of a sudden these players who have magically over the last 24 months been dog shit are going to all of a sudden score 10 goals a season to make up for Gareth Bale blows my mind. It blows my mind. I can't take it anymore. I can't. The positivity. I'm a positive person. I don't get negative for no reason. But I am Will Stewart, THFC rants, and dadgummit, I'm ranting.
No, just a few things. Look, I do get what you're saying. And I'm probably one of them people you're talking about that I am probably getting overexcited. But look, Will, me personally, I'm a positive guy. I don't like too much negativity in my life. And for me, I just want to take a different approach. Well, actually, not a different approach, more like last season. I just want to come into the season optimistic, believe me, come in everything. Now, look, I know I'm going to get my tushy hurt. I know it's going to get burnt, right? But just me, I'm just positive. So I'm going to put all that aside for a few weeks leading into the season. And I'm just going to praise everyone we get in because, for me, I can't sit there and keep hating my club. It rips me apart. It keeps me awake at night, Will.
But no, I agree with you, David. And actually, you're probably not. I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I've been moving, so I've kind of been outside of the Twitter world and the YouTube world, just off and on for the last couple of weeks. But I don't think that you're necessarily one of the ones because I haven't heard you say that Gil's going to be the next Lionel Messi, that he's going to come in here rolling and he's going to. Yeah, right. But there are people that are saying that, and you know who you are. I'm looking at the camera. You know who you are. You're watching this. It's driving me nuts, right? It's driving me nuts because simply for the fact is that he statistically, but for me, it seems like a waste of cash. We basically spend around 35 million pounds, 35 million euro on this when Aston Villa, who isn't in Europe at all, is going in and making moves for Leon Bailey, and he wants to go to the Premier League. He does not that he wants to go to Aston Villa, and we're going up with somebody. We're not going in for someone like Leon Bailey. It seems to me, Paratici, he's done some great stuff. The moves look good. It looks positive. I'm positive for season. I am probably the biggest Nuno fan out of all of us, and so it's not like I'm being negative for no reason. But if we're sleeping, all of our connections have either been in Serie A or the Liga, and we haven't looked anywhere else. And I think that's negligent. And if Leon Bailey's on the market and we're not going in for him, I think it's an absolute disgrace. He's my minimum standard of quality on that right side. Minimum. Better, great. Yeah. Less than, not cool.
Yeah, that's fair. Liz, 01 says, much love to the Flat Cap Army. Big up the senior squad on screen. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Nick. There's another guy, George, I want to speak to. He's dissing the Flat Cap Army. No, look, you need to get yourself a flat cap. If you feel left out, just let me know, email me, I'll send you one, not a problem. But don't be dissing the flat caps, lad. I think it's a bit of jealousy. And there was one more thing, just quickly, let me see where it is. Shamu is back. I don't know, so he wasn't in the comments when I said it, but Shamu, come on in about 15 minutes time, and I will get you on at the end when we're finished with the senior squad, as Nick calls them. And, before we're going to have my dinner, we'll make sure we get you on because you were too generous getting off trying to give Nick and that more time. So make sure you come on, my man. Look, Brian and Bob, who wants to go next?
With that, because I know what Brian's going to go, so I don't want it to be a rant overload. So I'll just say my piece. I'm going to be a bit more calm and collected for a change. I agree and disagree with Will. I think the fact, mate, is it's a waste of money. We just don't know. We just don't know if it's going to be a waste of money or not. It's one of those wait and see. The issue for me is the fact. No. We just don't know. We just don't know. With regard, what's not concerning, but I think what's reflecting the fan base right now is we're getting excited over a number two goalkeeper who's come in and a player who we didn't hear of till about 2 weeks.
Right, a bench warmer.
Yeah, so for me, it's a good start, but we need to improve the first 11, and none of these two players are really improving the first 11. So it's all very well getting players in, which is good start. The Don Paratici, I'm not understanding because at the moment we haven't done anything that's going to improve our first 11, apart from being linked to 574 players on a daily basis. But we just need to strengthen our first 11. But right now, I find it a bit not sad, but I just find it a bit hard to understand sometimes. And I'm part of it, I'll be honest with you, to understand how the fan base are getting so OTT over a signing of a goalkeeper on loan and a player we hadn't heard of till about 2 weeks ago, until we were linked to it. And Dave, you were part of it. We were on the stream when we talked about it. You said yourself you hadn't heard of and Brian. And so far we're basing it on a few minutes in the Olympics and YouTubes and stats and facts, which are great. But for me, for a young player to come into the Premier League, it's a wait and see. He's not going to be a first teamer, I don't think. I'd love him to have the Dele Alli effect and come in and start ripping it up. Of course, we all want that. but it's a rarity, isn't it? So for me, like Will says, it's all about improving that first 11 because it's the first 11 that let us down last season. We've seen Toby go. That's the priority now, is replacing him with a quality defender. And that has to be Romero. Romero coming in, jizz my pants. He is a quality player. I mentioned him in October. I love him, absolutely love him. Tommy Arsu, it looks like it's a dead deal from the sounds of it. I know we've got option A, option B, haven't we, Dave? So it's suddenly become
it feels like
an
deal or no deal.
Yeah, but we need to improve that first 11, mate. And so far, if you stand back and look at it, we haven't.
Yeah. No, look, one thing I will say is this is why this channel is different, Bob, because we have Jack. Jack has definitely watched them play. Jack knows a lot about them, so we're a bit different here, lad, so we are. But, Jack, have you anything to say to Bob?
Yeah, piss off, Bob.
You're muted, Jack.
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself earlier.
Oh, sorry.
In terms of, I feel like what Bob and I even had a pretty good debate about even some of these signings, and I think we and I both had our piece. What I will say, I think, is that Will has maybe in a way brought a bit of reality to us. But I will also say, though, maybe to Will personally, is there does seem to be this thing where sometimes there are plenty of really good players in history that were very one-footed players. In fact, that were players that never on earth used their weak foot. I'm not saying that Brian Hill is going to be one of those players, but if you're talking about the best players of history, almost all of them were, one-footed players. And so when you do think about it, it is kind of this thing where, yes, it is a huge risk that we're in a way, like you're kind of right, Will, kind of almost buying someone that seems to look just like Lamela in the time that we did buy Lamela. And I think I can't tell you that that's not, right. I think that is actually spot on. But who's to know? Maybe he actually is going to be what we thought Lamela was going to be. That incredible.
No, and that's cool. Like I said, if he's coming in to be a squad player,
but you're bringing us back down to reality.
It's a purchase for the future and all that stuff. Yeah. That's cool. But let's just cool our jets a little
I agree
bit,
with
right?
you, Will. I agree.
Let's not get it and start hyping up, little Messi and Brian Galino and all this jazz, right? Driving me insane. Right? Let's have a cool head. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying we wasted money on signing him. That's not my point.
No, you didn't say that. No.
My point is simply, let's just.
I agree.
Hey, let's not get overexcited. The first 11 still hasn't been improved.
I was thinking of getting a shirt called Gilnaldo.
No.
Why not?
No, Will already has one. That's why he said no, because he wants to be the original. He wants to be the only one with one.
I mean, I'll sell them on my store if somebody wants to buy them. I'm all about that cash.
But look, guys, I do want to get Brian in. I do want to let him speak because I think he's about to burst a blood vessel. But Brian, just bear in mind, do not get me banned off YouTube.
Okay, so I won't say certain words, but I can't say there will be no swearing in this. There is a rant incoming. And I'm just going to start with people wake the hell up. This is not a rant for Paratici. This is a rant for a parasite. Okay? Who in their right mind, in this conversation here, on this panel, and in the chat, if I had said to you, the two areas we need to address right now would be a goalkeeper and a left winger. Not a single one of you. Maybe a goalkeeper, because of Hugo. You would not have said a 20-year-old left winger. Once again, we are buying lumps of coal to turn them into diamonds. Every single person knows we need centre-backs. Centre-backs, a right-back, and a backup for Kane or a replacement for Kane. So why is it...
Right winger. Don't forget the right winger, Brian.
That's why I said right winger. I said right winger. Sorry, subliminal message. News incoming. A right winger as well. We need a right winger. So why is it the Tomiyasu deal, which has been going on for 85 billion years, all of a sudden, that's broken down because we couldn't agree with 2 million. Who's that? Parasite. Romero, the big cheese, the diamond we want. Not happening. And now Fabrizio Romano is saying, A, we can have him, or B, we can have 3 defenders for this price. Who does that stink of? A parasite. It's happening again. Everyone is falling into the goddamn trap. We are buying lumps of coal, hoping they turn into diamonds, so then we can sell them for more if they go, and not addressing the actual situation. Look at this. Why if Paratici has overall authority to do anything, I'm sure he wouldn't go to the Tomiyasu deal. Yeah, can we try and get 2 million off of it? Can we try? No, he wouldn't. He didn't say that to Real Madrid with Ronaldo. He didn't say that with anyone with Juve. They paid the goddamn price. And now we're having it with Romero, where it's now, A, you can have him, or A, it's like being on a game show back home. Look what you could have won. You can have this, or you can go. It's like, for God's sake, wake up.
Brian, I think as well, mate, with regards to Levy, I made a point earlier, the fact we're in this, with 3 weeks to go, we still haven't strengthened the first 11. We still haven't got the relevant players, and you're spot on. And we're still haggling. Mate, it was Levy who faffed for 70 odd days, and took us down the garden path. For me, if we'd got Nuno in, yes, the players wouldn't have been there, and yes, we hadn't had Paratici, but a manager needs to bed into a football club. And who knows what conversations he could have had with Levy, and who knows if Paratici could have come in a bit earlier, or someone else would have come in. But the fact we faffed so long over getting a manager in, we're in this situation with under 3 weeks to go before the kickoff of a season, and we're still bedding in. We're still bedding in Nuno. We're still trying to see what Paratici will do. He's a big reason why we're in this situation right now, and purely and simply he couldn't get his finger out and make the right decisions.
What I will say just quickly, lads, is just hear me out on this. Is that everyone bar me wanted Mourinho sacked, right? They got what they wanted, even though I told everybody we're going to go through the period we went through, and it happened, right? We got a new manager in like people wanted, and we got a director of football in that people called for. Do you not think we just have to sit here and be patient for this window and see what they can do?
Yeah, I'm okay. Even if it happens on deadline day, I'm cool. Right? If it happens at midnight on deadline day, as long as we get those 2 center backs and that right winger, I'm cool. I'm happy.
It's the balance. It's the balance, Dave. Right now, I don't understand the balance, mate. Is the fact that the way some of the fan base are celebrating these 2 signatures, it's like we're gone to the next level. Whereas we have to take. Listen, I want Paratici to become the best director of football we've ever had. Nuno to be the best manager. I think will do very, very well. Big up on Will, who's supported him right from the off. And I think Brian Hill will come in and become a great player. Galini, we're not sure what his role is going to be, but I think we need to balance out our expectations and our good feel good factor against who we've brought in. Just because Paratici has brought in a goalkeeper on loan and a potential doesn't mean that we've suddenly sold everything and he's suddenly become a Don. I hope he becomes a Don. I think there's a vision that he might become a Don, but when I start getting excited is when we start bringing in the right likes of Romero and other good defenders. Because if we don't, then you might as well just have Hitchin in charge.
I'm also sick. I'm also sick of people saying we're a Conference League club. Will, you got to be realistic.
Well,
Aston Villa ain't nothing, and Leon Bailey's apparently going there. So what the heck are we doing?
I've got to add this again with the Tomiyasu deal. That week we were going for Tomiyasu, and it was we're haggling over 2 million. Deals close. We only spend what we get in. So how can we then offer 30 million for Koundé and Sanchez? So I tell you what, that deal didn't go through. You got 30 million there that you were prepared to give away. Now I can do maths, and I know 2 million can fit into 30 million 15 times. So take one of those 15 times, go on to Tomiyasu, there he is. And you know what? We need a central defender so bad, and with Toby Alderweireld now going, they want 55. Give them 55 million. If you want to be a big boy and wear the big boy pants and do the thing big clubs do, you need to pay the money. This does not work every time, and I keep saying this all the time. We buy lumps of coal and hope they turn into diamonds. We even say, which is one of the biggest things I hate about this club, is we say we go into this looking for their resell, and they've got no resell. And let's look, do they have a resell? I don't want to be part of a club that thinks, right, I'm about to buy this player, but in case this doesn't work, can I get X amount of million for him? What kind of club does that?
Tottenham Hotspur. Do you know what? I want to add something, right?
Sorry, Dan. Go on.
No, that's cool. It's cool. Like, I do you know what? I'm like Brian, right? I'm like Brian. I get very angry about it. Sometimes I don't show it as much as how Brian does. But the thing is,
I think no one does.
no one does, yeah. But the thing is, right? I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic on this, just because it is Paratici. Now I know just as well as Brian how Tottenham work, right? And just after Fabrizio tweeted today, there's 2 plans now if we don't get Romero, right? That obviously is typical Tottenham. If it doesn't happen, for me, how I feel, I'll be like, well, I knew it. It's one of those things where it's just typical Tottenham, right? It's bound to happen, sort of thing. But if it does happen, it is unbelievable, and that's what I'm trying to hold on to that at the moment. But knowing that if it doesn't go through, it's what I expect, because that is exactly what Tottenham do.
Just keep Hitchin in charge.
Well, no, not keep Hitchin in charge. It's just I'm not getting my hype, my emotions like to this point where oh my god, we're gonna be like this amazing team now. We're getting Romero, we're getting Leon Bailey, and we're getting fucking everyone in. Like it's do you know what I mean? It's not gonna be like that.
I got called negative for that, mate. So
I know, but that's what I do you know what? Bob, fuck them.
I just look at what's happened previously. Because as far as I can, as far as I know, I might be being a bit thick here. As far as I know, the last time I checked, and correct me if I'm wrong, Levy's still in charge. And
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right. Yeah, because it just seems like they're not there anymore. But I hope, like you say, I hope, mate, it all changes. And Paratici's making the right sounds. It looks like he's doing the right thing. I pray to God that he gets these centre backs and proves us right. You know, I expect something from Paratici. I expect him to be a great director of football. But like I say, there's a bit of apprehension because of Enoch and Levy. But I hope that's all gone to one side. But like I say, I think because of the previous 20 odd years, it just reflects our celebrations and furore over the fact that we've brought in a number 2 goalkeeper and a potential that we're going so OTT. I think that's kind of a sad reflection on how the fan base.
On the flip side, people will say, but like, you know, what's everyone giving out about? We still have plenty of time to sign centre backs.
But we don't.
Yeah,
if you're signing centre backs, you want them ready, which are the main thing. Exactly. They are the main thing. Whoa, Daddy. Do. Wait. So, as I was saying, you get these centre backs in. They are the most important partnership to get right. They are the diehard backbone of your team. So you need them in as soon as possible in pre-season to get used to how they're going to play, or in a back 3, even more so if they haven't played in the back 3 before, or if they have played in the back 3 and we go for a back 4. They need that partnership locked down, ready to go come first game of the season. And it's not like we're playing anyone who scores a lot of goals on the first day of the season.
No, it's not like we're playing
City
like
or
anything.
Champions. So why? This is why, again, the most important areas to address is this. Get it done.
Do you know why, Brian?
The time.
Do you know what it is, right? For me, what I've seen this season is the fact that you've had the European, the way that the kind of the seasons kind of ended. It was so crammed because of the COVID situation, right? Then you've had a European Championship, right, which has come at a time where you're in a buyer's market where the market is fluctuated because of the way things have happened in the world, right? So then you've got that to add to it. Then you've got, on top of it, you've got the Olympics going on as well, which also stops things. And you've got a point where if you look at the actual deals that people are doing, not a lot of clubs have done a lot of deals yet. And that's because of everyone is still coming back from holiday, things like that. And the championship, also Copa America as well. You've got to remember Copa America literally just finished like the other week. So players are still, like Romero will probably still be like on holiday technically. So he technically wouldn't be able to train anyway for another 2 weeks probably if we would sign him, say, this week.
At least
they're in. The deals, isn't it?
I get it, but look, if you listen to did anyone listen to what Fabrizio said in his Twitch stream tonight? Because I listened back to it literally not long ago, and what he said was the deal has not collapsed. He's saying what's happening is they are trying to find the agreement of how they're going to pay the money, because it's not. He didn't mention about that they haven't agreed a fee. He's mentioned about how they're structuring the payments, whether it's going to be over 4 years. Like he didn't say the amount of years, but he said over how many years.
Romero.
Yeah. Fabrizio Romano said tonight live on his stream that what they're discussing right now is way they're structuring the deal. It's not about if the deal is done or not. It's about how they're going to pay it. Once they've come to an agreement,
that is Daniel Levy's prime tactic.
Yeah, but listen, Brian, listen.
Let's give them a chance to read the super chats.
I want to touch into this as well, right? But it's just basically what I was trying to say is that for Tottenham to buy a top class defender, they cannot pay outright cash, right? And look, I know, Brian, just as well as you, what Daniel Levy is like, and he's going to come into this comment, which Dave's going to read out or Jack's going to read out. But what I'm saying is that the only way they can do it is by structuring it over a long term. You work it out, right? If you do say 47 million, I said it the other night, 47 million over 4 years is just under 12 million. That is fucking nothing. They make more money on their fucking food and drinks per year in a stadium. So if they can do that, then it's viable for them. That's what I'm trying to say. But if they don't want to do that, then you know that then there's no hope. There's literally no hope whatsoever.
Yeah. Just quickly, we'll let Jack in to read the super chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if he has any questions or comments on what's being said as well.
No problem. Super chat in here from Kuva99. Big yourself up, Kuva. Good to see you. He's chimed in here with a very generous super chat, Dave. And he says, and if people haven't learned from previous transfer windows, have they also learned from our ridiculous manager chase? Cheap options incoming. So he's basically relating, the way that we are going about finding a manager, and trying to maybe find the cheapest option available is pretty similar to maybe how we're going about players.
You say cheap options,
but they've been quite expensive. So I would say, maybe it's hard to know.
Talk of a cheaper option, Jack. Personal terms were agreed with Tomiyasu before the Olympics. We sat here and did streams on Tomiyasu, yourself, me and Will, Tottenham away. We all looked into Tomiyasu and said, you know what? We changed our mind because we looked at it. We thought, you know what? Very versatile, 2-footed, can play along the back. Fantastic. He'll be a great squad. He'll improve the squad.
Yep,
he would come and improve the squad. There is absolutely, if he's told, apparently he said he wants to come to Tottenham. If he's told his agent, I want to come to Tottenham and I've agreed personal terms, there is absolutely no reason to be anywhere near the discussions of the deal, because the rest is between the agent and Levy and Paratici. So him going to the Olympics is irrelevant. The fact that we're all done before the Olympics says to me that, again, they're dilly-dallying around. I feel for Tomiyasu.
And he's not playing in the rest of the
you've also got to remember.
I just want to respond to Kuva, lads, for the super chat. One thing I will say quickly to this as well is, Kuva, in previous transfer windows, we didn't have Paratici, we didn't have the pressure on Levy that we had coming into this window that might force him to sign the checks that need to be signed. So that's the only thing I will say to that, is that, look, Levy didn't have the pressure on him, the hate so in his face. So look, it could be different this transfer window. Look, I'm prepared to sit here until the transfer window deadline is done. If it doesn't go my way, then yes, I'm going to absolutely go ballistic. But for me, I just think if I call for it, I have to sit here and see how he gets on and give him his chance. But Kuva, I really do appreciate the super chat.
As well.
Generous. I really do appreciate it.
Yes,
Gokama with the super story, Brian. Gokama as well. He's saying, Gokama. She's saying, really enjoying the panel. She's really been enjoying the show tonight, David. She's probably especially enjoying this panel as well. I definitely can imagine that. I know she loves a lot of the people here on this panel. So honestly, Gokama, we really do appreciate your generosity, and we also appreciate you letting us know. Really do appreciate Gokama for joining us tonight. She came in with the super sticker there, David, and then with the comment there. So very nice of you, Gokama. Yeah, sorry, Brian.
That's right. So Bob, you just reminded me when you said the Olympics.
And big up Kuba.
So we were linked with Tomiyasu before he went to the Olympics. Then the problem was he was at the Olympics, and with that transfer's been going on for what, a month, 6 weeks?
Yeah, a month.
So how is it Brian Hill is in Japan doing the exact same thing, and he signed in a week? In 1 week. 1 week.
And Tomiyasu injured his foot, and he can't even play for the rest of the Olympics. So he's available now.
We were going for him before the Olympics, but we couldn't get him because he was at the Olympics. And then he's injured at the Olympics, but we can't get him because he's not whatever. And the fee, I don't know the extent of that injury. And people going, oh, you've got to give it a chance. He's at the Olympics. Yet you can sign Brian Gill when the rumour started 1 week ago. He's at the Olympics. He's playing in the Olympics. Done. Because it's a lump of coal with a potential to earn more money if we sell him. But
Daniel Levy needs to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because he's the biggest punter I've ever seen in my life.
But we can't get a defender. Wake up, people.
On the Tomiyasu deal, Brian, do you think it could be a case maybe that, Bologna are waiting to replace Tomiyasu and they're not going to sell him until they have his replacement?
That shouldn't be our concern, though, should it, mate?
Exactly. In Italy,
no, but what I'm saying to you is, it may not be our concern, but what I'm saying to you is, if that happens, that players, the clubs will not, it's more or less a done deal or whatever, but they will not let a player leave until they have their replacement. It's smart. It happens in the transfer window. I couldn't give a shit if it's our problem or not, but that's just the way the transfer window works. So
my response to that, David, is if we're a big club, we say, listen, I don't care what you say. Here's the money. You take it. It's amazing how Daniel Levy can do this to players when we're trying to sell them and we don't get the money in because he does that to try and get them out. But then when it happens on the other foot, he don't like it and don't pay for it. You don't play the game. And then you know the rules of the game. If we really... Listen, if I was chairman of Tottenham and I know we really needed a defender, I couldn't give a flying rat's ass what Bologna won. I'll be, Bologna, how much do you want for him? Oh, we're haggling over 2 million. Here's the extra sodding 2 million. Get him to London now. And he'd be there. My concern, I understand where you're coming from, David, but my concern is for the team, I don't give a monkey.
It should be Levy's. Yeah, it should be Levy's as well.
You should say, listen, that's not my problem. This deal has got
I know that, but the thing is, it happens. Why would Bologna let go of a defender when they have no one to replace him?
Then we shouldn't be in for him then. We shouldn't be in for him then, should we?
It could be them holding up the deal.
Yeah, that's right. Then we shouldn't be interested in him. We should move on.
And it's not that we shouldn't be interested in necessarily move on. I don't mind waiting. Like I said, I don't care if it happens the last day at midnight. I don't care. I don't care about that. With this bedding in, all stuff, I don't care. As long as they're wearing the shirt, they're getting them in here, that's fine, right? If we have to struggle for the first couple of weeks until they can bed in and get some time to play or do whatever, fine. That's cool. But if this transfer window shuts with a second string goalkeeper, a squad player who's one-footed and hasn't proved himself in any league yet, and maybe we sign somebody else who's not even as good as the center backs that we already have, which is awful, then what are we going to do? Look, nobody, I haven't heard hardly any of the pundits talking about our right wing situation. Where are those 10 goals going to come from? Where are they going to come from? Oh, Dele Alli is going to do it. Well, he hasn't done anything for the last 18 months. And now Billy Lo Celso is going to do it. Well, they haven't done anything else for the last 2 years. So all of a sudden, these players are going to make up for Gareth Bale's 10 goals, which 4 of those games were won by his goals, by the way.
Yeah.
4 games.
12 points.
Yeah. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I agree
with you on that way.
Yeah, it's a wait and see. I think we just need to stand back and balance our furore and excitement over these 2 signings. I'm excited as well. Like I said right at the beginning, I'm part of it, getting excited and carried away. But when you sit down and look at it in the cold light of day, the official facts are, so far, we've got a number 2 goalkeeper on loan and we've got a youngster who's potential. That's it. There's no way we've improved in fact, we've weakened our first 11 at the moment by selling.
I agree with you.
I think we just need to level out a bit.
I agree with what you're saying. Maybe you're saying we should tamper excitements because we've only got a keeper and a winger. Do you not think you can put the shoe on the other foot and say, could you not temper the anger and that towards the club until the window's closed? Like you can put the shoe on both feet here.
I'm not angry at Paratici. I'm angry at the people who are making a big deal.
No, but I'm just saying because, look, I get it. Like people are getting excited and that, whatever. But like the same comment can apply for people that are having a go at Levy and stuff like that. Where you can have a go at people for being excited, but the same thing can be said for just calm down until the window's open.
So David, I'll say this. I'll say this, and I had this chat with Danny as well. I had a long chat with Danny about this, and I said, you know what? People are going to start. There's people that within the family, within whatever, that have started to get so excited. Oh my God, look what we're going to do. Look at this. We are going to get so excited. Whoa, we're going to get into the Champions League. We're going to win. No. And I've said the reason I don't start communicating all those things is because I stay pissed off and angry and will be till the day Daniel Levy. That's what my rage is getting. So Daniel Levy, Joe Lewis, and Enoch piss off. And then what is going to happen is that what's going to happen with these people that are going, oh, it's so exciting. You're saying to calm down, but what will happen is when I know and people know on this panel and in this group know when I say shit about Levy, I'm normally 100% bang on the money. That when it doesn't happen, you guys that have been, oh, I'm so excited, then you're going to flitch on the rage. And then it's like, oh, yeah, but now, and I'm there. I'm not changing from there. My thing is not against Nuno, is not against Paratici, is not against any other person at the club apart from two people. And my anger will stay this, and in fact, it will only get worse until they go. But this is the thing, there's going to be a load of people going, yeah, look, times are changing. Yeah, things are getting better. And then when the window shuts and nothing happens, all those people are going to start getting on, are going to start being said. And when they go, oh no, look, Brian, you were right again. And I'll be like, well, why the fuck did you even think it was going to be different?
The only thing I disagree with, Brian, and I know it's a rarity, we very rarely disagree on anything. But if we get the players in who we link with, only 5 of them, not the 584 that we are linked, but even if we get the right players in, the right personnel in, a Romero, a Tommy Arsu, a striker and a right winger, if we get another 4 players in, I believe we can make top 4. I really do. I really do. But the word is if, isn't it? That's the big thing. The word is if.
This is the thing I want to throw in on Gil too for those people, because there's people in the chat that are making funny things, saying funny things. Watch any one of his compilations. Just go watch a compilation. You don't even have to go watch like an all touches video or watch an entire match he's played. Count the number of times that he takes his first touch to the right. Count them. And if you can feel one hand, if you can lift 5 fingers on one hand, I'll give you $100. I'll PayPal it to you tomorrow, because I've watched at least 3 or 4 hours of 8-minute compilation videos, and I've tried, and I can't get past 4.
Who?
Brian Gill.
Oh, Brian Gill.
And you're telling me that Premier League defenders aren't going to have him pegged before his plane even touches down?
The piss off Cody.
Matty, we're still live because we had so many people that wanted to come on today, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna say one thing,
mate. Record viewings.
I'm going to say one thing because I don't hold back on these stuff, and I've seen him attack a couple of people's. We have a pussy behind a keyboard, as I call him. A pussy behind a screen by the name of Bradley Coombs, who has tried to call me and Danny out and told me to shut up, but he doesn't ever appear on anything, doesn't say anything, but he thinks he can come on, only have a picture of a bee behind his name and give it all this. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, come onto my show and come and talk to me, or come on any of these shows and talk to me, and let's have your opinion, which I'm dying to hear, and I will shut you down on every single goddamn opinion, you bloody pussy behind a screen. Keep your noise down.
Can I just add to that? Bradley, I'm really glad you're watching. Keep watching because it's brilliant for David's channel. Make sure you absolutely smash that like button. People's elbow that subscribe button. Give it the Irish elbow and just keep it coming, mate. And brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So keep it coming, mate.
Yeah, a bunch of super chats here we gotta get through. So.
Yeah, that's normally my and
what I will say to Bradley as well is, look, you know, if you disagree with them, don't be putting in comments telling them to shut up. Just let them know why. Look, we're all adults here. We can all communicate like adults. There's enough hate in the world. We don't need to be hating on each other. We're all Spurs. Everyone else hates us at the end of the day. So let's speak to each other like we exist. Jason Groves says, I absolutely love this his voice as well. Yeah. It's brilliant. He says, I'm excited. That is what I love about football. I get excited, but after the last few years, I think I owe myself a little bit of excitement.
Cheers,
I'm funny to get where he's coming from.
I think
love Jason. His voice.
Yeah.
Galia, the superstar.
He's brilliant.
I love this woman.
Yes, Ellie.
Yeah.
I love this
we
woman.
all do. And look, Jack.
Yeah,
why don't
definitely.
you take Ellie's comment here?
Yeah, big up Ellie. Ellie is just way too generous to us. Honestly, Ellie, you could have taken the night off. You already had the class call in. You didn't need to help us out like this. But really, Ellie, big yourself up. She's way too generous to us, David. She says Levy's Tavistock real estate company will never sell because they will be making billions of profit, and they do not care about us as a football club since they care about Tottenham making money. Since they care about the Tottenham making money machine or the Tottenham money machine to line up their own pockets. Yeah, to be honest.
Three attempts there, Jack, and you got them wrong all 3 times.
Sorry there, Bobby. I apologize.
No, it's all right. No,
do you want to take it, Bobby?
Yeah, I'll take it. No, you carry on.
Okay. Then when it comes to, sorry about that. To be honest, Ellie, definitely. And who was it before? I think it might have been Nick Lazy. Nick Lazy 8. He was saying that this is more of a real estate company to Enoch and Levy. It's not really the football. This is obviously something that has come out of Bob Spur and Brian Daigle's book here. It's come out of their hymn sheet. It's more of a real estate company. It's more of a real estate portfolio than it is a football club. And so Ellie is absolutely spot on here. And to be honest, most of the moves that they're making, apart from players in some sense or form, have to probably do with the real estate, have to probably do with what they're trying to build in the local North London area. They're even trying to basically buy out all the property there. In a sense, another form of gentrification, you might add. And then as well, she's just spot on. It is. They're trying to make a Tottenham money-making machine.
What you just said, Jack, is the best way to describe it. It's like they're gentrifying. I've said it before, right? The way they're buying up like the golf course, and they're trying to turn it into a public park, which they're going to have an NFL training pitch and a women's football academy, and the property they bought around and all that kind of. They're trying to gentrify the area so they can bring in upper class people to spend more money in the area, so they make more money. That's literally what they're doing. Brilliantly said, Jack. Well said.
Yeah, and also really, Ellie, you did not need to do this. Ellie, you did not. Also, Ellie, you usually spit bars, absolutely, when it comes to any time you come onto the fan show, but she's done it here with a super chat. And so, Ellie, again, like I said, you really didn't need to. You're always way too generous, especially to me, Ellie, way too generous. So I really do appreciate it. But, Ellie, again, we really do love that you've honestly stuck around as well. I'm surprised, you're still watching with us, Ellie. Really, honestly, a true legend fan. She's a true legend fan. True legend.
Wicked, Ellie.
Yeah,
Wicked, Ellie.
Ellie, I want to say thank you so much for your support to the channel. There's nothing I can really add to it that Jack hasn't said, but I really do appreciate the support for the channel. And you were fantastic on the fan show earlier on as well. A legend as always. So really appreciate the support, and everyone else. We're going for about another 5 to 10 minutes. Feel free to put in a super chat or two to help support the channel with a comment, question, or even if you've just enjoyed the show. It really does help support us. I'm sure you're still out there, man. Do come on in the background. Like I said, I will get you on, man, before I go and have a bit of dinner, my man. So look, if you are listening, do get on, man.
Aren't you, Dave?
Big up, Ellie. Big up, Ellie.
Too.
Big up, Ellie. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, Ellie, absolute legend. But look, guys, what do you want to speak about next? There's no point of asking me questions. You all have your own minds, so.
Final thoughts for me is, look, I'm excited for the new season. I am. I think Nuno, personally, a lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people on this panel disagree with me.
Yeah.
I think that Nuno was the best possible choice out of the options that were actually available to us.
Yeah, I agree.
Conte obviously would have been my first choice, but other than that, so I'm excited about it. I think that Nuno is going to be a solid manager who's going to keep us there and could even possibly get us into the top 4 if, and that was a big if the right players were purchased over the window. And those right players were 2 center backs and 1 right winger. And so far, we have not even been linked with a right winger, as far as I know. Bailey for a little bit, and I jump for joy because he's my minimum threshold. 8 or 9 goals a season and averaging 4 or 5 assists a season. That's far better than anybody else that we have in that position. But 2, and then the only thing that I haven't talked about that's not really related to this is I'm 100% glad that Son re-signed. That's a great deal. I think the amount he's being paid, if those reports are correct, is a bit insulting that he's making less money than Ndombele. And boom, I dropped the bomb on you. Go with that one.
100%. Look, before we get on to Danny, Jack, Ellie has also dropped in another £20 super chat and says Jack deserves to see his favourite player, Ndombele, or is it Ndomele? So look, that'll go towards to get Jack to to
I like
the Tottenham Stadium Fund. So big up, Ellie. Jack, do you want to say thank you?
No, absolutely, Ellie. Thank you so much. And to be honest, Ellie, you're absolutely spot on. This is why I love Tanguy for his skills. I love him because he also has that, kind of that sleek confidence to his look as well. He has a bit of intelligence to even the way he plays. But I really do wish he was more of an Indom Ellie, or even an Indom Belly, you might even say. Just because with you, Ellie, I know that she would have more of that Spurs DNA, more of that kind of fighting will, bit more of also that willingness to, fight for his teammates, to run for his teammates that I know you had when you were playing for Spurs, Ellie. So to be honest, Ellie, if I could combine both you and Tanguy, I would have the most perfect player. To be honest, I might even make that player in FIFA tonight, Ellie.
But no, like on this thing too, like I think NWL is a great player. I think statistically he's way better on the ball than Brian Gill. I know that's going to throw people into hurt because they don't like the way NWL plays. But if you look at the statistics and you actually do the eye test, NWL is far better dribbler than Brian Gill is currently. Yes, he's been playing in a deeper role and hasn't had the impact attacking wise. But that's just what the numbers show. And for Son Heung-min, look, if you're watching the show and you need a new agent, your dad's not getting enough cash for it, give me a call. I know your value. I can speak fluent Korean. I'll help you out. Because you should be the second highest earner at the club. At least. Exactly. And you're not. And I think that's sad. I really do. But hey, I'm glad you're with us. As a selfish Tottenham fan, I'm glad you're with us for the next few years. But,
Love it. Will, can you dissect this from Goguma?
Yeah, she said that he's not making as much as Ndombele. No, he's not. He's not. Ndombele is over 200 pounds a week. Son is at 192. That's what she said. She said, "In no mueta." She's like, "That's not fair." Exactly, that's not fair. That's my point. And that was my video that was in Korean for people that are curious. That little 60-second video that I did was basically that, saying, "I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Right? I'm glad he signed, but I want to know your thoughts are. Isn't he a little bit being disrespected here? Is this not an insult to Son himself? Not that I want to throw gasoline on a fire, but when I saw because I researched the contract, I didn't think he was going to sign in the first place, but when he did, I researched it, and the only information I could find, and it hasn't been verified yet, is that Son's on 192 million pounds or 192,000 pounds a week, $10 million deal over 5 years, or till 2025. So that's not 5 years, that's 4 years. But that's less. That's at least 10 to 15,000 pounds a week less than Ndombele, and I think that's absolutely a crime.
Yeah. It is. It's a crime of epic proportions. But look, Will, before we move on to others for their final thoughts, why don't you plug your channel and everyone know where they can find you, my man?
You can find me THFC Rants. I'm still going to be this next week. It's going to be crazy. I actually had the mover was supposed to come on Wednesday and he canceled because he's ill. I don't know whether it's COVID or not, but everybody else is booked solid, so I'm going to have to try to work some deals out. Anyway, I'm going through a lot of junk right now trying to move the house. Once I do, I've got a bunch of new gear. The new set is going to be pretty hot and banging. So probably come August 10th is when I'm going to say that I'm going to, 3 days before the new season starts. That's when I'll kind of do my reopening as well. I may be out. I'm going to try to at least do 2 shows a week during this hectic time period. But if I can't, I hope people understand. And I'll be back and forth doing 5 shows a week after that. So.
Absolutely love it. Well, everybody do get over and check out Will Stewart THFC Rants. Absolutely brilliant today, Will, I have to say. Very, very well said. Very well said on all your points today. And good rant as well, I have to say. I enjoyed it. So everybody, please do get over and check out Will Stewart THFC Rants and smash that subscribe button. Look, let's go on to Brian next. Brian, what's your final thoughts, man?
First of all, Bradley, mate, put something in constructive, mate.
Yeah, well, no, that's what
a bit of a muppet, mate. Come on,
I was going to tackle it. So Bradley's just said Brian's got to be quiet. He said
I have a rule on this program. I don't give them people the time of day. It's the people that put in the football opinions I want to give the time of day to.
Yeah, so all I want to say to you, the reason I've gone quiet is because it's a panel show. And now David has just said, Brian, what's your final thoughts? That's my cue to speak, you dickhead. So now I won't be quiet. So go and tuck yourself into bed. So now I'll go back to final thoughts, mate. Listen, like I said, I'm happy we got Nuno. I wasn't as happy as Will, but like Will said, I wish we'd just gone for Nuno before all the smoke and mirrors FC. I think it would have been much more widely appreciated. And I actually think if Nuno had been appointed or gone for during that time, there'd be a lot of other people that would have had a more positive thought of where we're going. It's because of this whole cat and mouse game and the whole shenanigans that went on that we didn't get it. Listen, as I was saying when I came on, I had my rant. This isn't against Paratici. This isn't against Nuno, and I hope we get the defenders in. I just hope they come in, and then if not, obviously it'll be Armageddon for me. But that's it basically, mate.
Aaron, I can see what you're saying. I'd agree with you usually outside of life, but when you have so many people commenting, I'd rather give the time of the day to the people that do deserve the time of the day and not the people that trolls, because I want to put a message out there that if you troll, you're not going to get given the time of the day. Put in your football opinion, you will. So I can get what you're saying, Aaron. But look, that's just my own personal preference of dealing with it, man.
Come to my channel and troll me, and then I'll give you some time.
Yeah, calling me a gooner, mate. You don't know what you're doing by saying that, mate. That's really inventive because, I rant and go anti-Levy because I'm a gooner. I'm sure I'd be very happy if I was a gooner. You absolute tool. I can go all day with this.
And look, Brian, why don't you plug your channel as well before we move on to Danny and get his final thoughts?
Yeah, you can plug. You can plug us.
You can plug.
You can find us at Tottenham Away. We got the two Brians on Friday, and then we're doing a special podcast at 5:30 Toronto time, 10:30 UK time. It's going to be a big one, big news. You'll catch us there. Come and see us at Tottenham Away at 10:30 on Monday, UK time.
Absolute brilliant channel as well, guys. So everybody, if you've enjoyed Brian's input today, and his rant on Levy, make sure you do get over there and smash that subscribe button as well. Absolute brilliant channel over there with a great bunch of guys, I have to say. So do make sure you do get over there and check out the content. That podcast that was out today. So get over and check that out as well. Sorry, Jack, you were leaving in like you wanted to say something, no? Yeah, no?
No, sorry, David. No, sorry.
Okay. No worries. Mr. Kiriakou, final thoughts?
Look, I'm just going to say, I'll try and keep it short and sweet, right? All I'm going to say is that I'm going to be optimistic, right? Because I can't be fucked, to be honest, at the moment, to have all this negative bullshit around Tottenham, because I tell you what, mate, my life, what goes on with my job, I've got enough stresses to fucking worry about, and I can't be getting more negative about fucking Tottenham. So I want to try and be positive, and all I'm going to say is I'll judge it. I'm going to be like Brian Daigle's twin if we have an absolute shocker of a transfer window come the 31st or 1st of September, because then I'll be going absolutely ape shit. But I'm going to wait until the end of the window, and I'm going to judge it then, and we're going to see what happens. So if we manage to get in the players that we need, then I'm excited for the season anyway. So let's just wait and see. But I think it could be a good season if we get the right players in. If not, we're going to be fucked again, aren't we? So there's nothing new. I don't raise my expectations, so I don't let myself get fucking ripped apart again when we have an absolute fucking nightmare of a season and we have absolute shit. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it on that. And also, is David Shamu coming on next?
No, he's not there. No,
he's not coming on. Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'll get him on first on the next one.
Fair enough. I was going to give him.
It was too generous, He said he was dropping out to let others have a bit more time and that.
Bless Shamu.
God bless
I was going to give him a little woo woo if he was going to come on. So just to lead on with that, and then never mind. I'll do it next time for you, Shamu.
Yeah. No, I get you, but we'll get him on. No, Shamu's a big fan of yours, Danny, as well. He loves it. He loves it,
man.
Source, please.
But look, Bob, final thoughts and plug your channel, man. And congratulations as well, is in order.
Yeah, thank you. I hit 1K over the weekend. I'd love to sit here and say it was all down to me. So
no, it's down to me.
And yeah, big up to everyone for the support. No, final thoughts. I think I'll be honest. It probably surprised me a bit with regards to the whole OTT over the top. A big furore, an excitement over a signature of a goalkeeper on loan and a 20-year potential. Because I actually believe, and in my opinion, our energies and our push should be directed elsewhere. So it's a balancing act, mate. I'm happy with Paratici. I'm happy with Nuno. Levy doesn't come into this conversation for me right now. I really hope we can get the players, at least 3 or 4 of the players that we're linked with, i.e. defenders and a couple of attacking options. And then, yeah, it'd be fine. But the reason why I'm so apprehensive, like I keep on saying over and over again, is because Levy's still there and Inika's still there. I hope it all changes. I really hope it all changes. I hope Paratici, apparently he's been given the checkbook, apparently. He's been told there's a budget, go out and buy anyone else. Yeah, I'm just saying, it would have been interesting to see how Hitchin would have worked under the same guidelines. Here's a checkbook, go and find...
Bob, I just thought you said chef book for a second. We didn't give him the chef book.
Yeah. No. So yeah, it's a balancing act. I'm happy with Hill coming in. I'm happy that we have strengthened our number 2 spot at least. Yeah, I'll be happier and start maybe putting the D on that Don Fabio once we start bringing defenders in, quality defenders in who can strengthen our first 11. Because right now, unfortunately, we haven't done that. So that's the surprise for me that people are getting so carried away. Then that's a slight surprise. But I suppose, like Jason said, we're due some excitement, aren't we? But there's nothing different between this transfer window so far and any other transfer window we've had when we've bought players in.
Yeah, and plug your channel.
Oh yeah, Bob Spur TV. At the moment, I'm just doing one show a week.
Every time we have to remind them. Every single time.
Oh no. At the moment, I'm just doing one show a week because of work. 10 o'clock Saturday nights in the Wall show. I did the best ever show, not the best ever show, but the best ever show last Saturday, and it's gone down a storm. So me and Brian will be getting our heads together and see what we can make up for the following Saturday. So yeah, Saturday is 10 o'clock at the moment. If there is any midweek shows, I'll probably be appearing on these guys. Obviously, I'm doing the Answer Me show on Wednesday on David's channel, and then if anything else comes up, I'll let you know.
100%, and everybody, make sure you do get over there and smash the subscribe on Bob Spur TV. Like I said, he helps out so many other channels, so make sure you do get over there and give him his reward and smashing that subscribe button. You won't regret it. I promise you that. Cody Mack, look, I'm not having nuggets, my man. I'm actually having shredded crispy chicken with curry sauce and egg fried rice. Homemade, may I add. Homemade. So it's going to be a good one. But look, I want to give Jack time. Jack, what do you want to say to the people out there?
Well, first, I definitely got to thank Ellie first, David, who not only, again, had another class call-in show, but again, has obviously always helped us out with the super chats and has always been so incredibly generous to me personally as well, David. And she says, this is towards our next signing. Listen, Ellie, I hope our next signing is going to be, like I said, that Ndombele or Ndombele kind of hybrid, because to be honest, I would love to have the hybrid Tanguy for the future. If that can ever happen, please, Ellie, let me know if it happens. If all we need is just to make like a genetic morph between the two of you, maybe that's what we need. But to be honest, Ellie, that's what I would say the next signing needs to be towards an Ndombele instead of what we currently have. But yeah, David, in terms of maybe things we need to plug, I would say maybe, David, we might need to plug that Brian Hill stat video from earlier. I can promise you, Will, we did not liken him or compare him to Messi at all at any point in the video whatsoever. I'm kidding. And then as well, we just went into all the stats and kind of even explained maybe a lot of those compilation videos and highlight videos by using stats to explain them. And then it's kind of a short pre-recorded video that is a bit different than what you might see on this page, considering how long we even went live today. So I think it could be something, for someone to just check out when they're just trying to, eat some breakfast or, just do something, later at night when they don't have a lot of time on their hands. Definitely check out that video if you're looking to find stuff about Brian Hill. Yeah, 100%. And also look out for the new YouTube channel that's coming, the branch off the Irish Hotspur. Jack, do you want to tell them about that? Absolutely, and definitely, we haven't had a lot of times, opportunities to plug it, but I'll use a quick one here, David. David and I are going to be coming up, especially it's going to be the one that I'm going to be running. It's going to be called Flat Cap Euro Talk, and it's going to be basically an extension of the Harris Army here, an extension of the Flat Cap Army. where we will be able to actually go through a lot of those big European moments, those big European weeks, those big European games that we feel like as Spurs fans, we're kind of not really a part of, sadly, anymore, in terms of the Champions League and even the Europa League, sadly. And so this will be maybe a bit of that filler for us Spurs fans, for the El Clasico, for even maybe the new Haaland or the new Mbappe of the world. You can look to me to maybe give you that information about him. You can look to me to maybe give you that watch along for whatever big up and coming game is happening during the middle of the week or during the weekend as well. For a bit of humor, I'm going to be coming up with videos like Jack's Itch of the Week and things like that. So please check me out at Flat Cap Euro Talk, and please have a look out for it when it comes out.
Gold bond, buddy, gold bond.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute cracker. Jack's picking up the fans by the show. You know what I mean? Honestly, he gets more comments than I do at times. But look, me personally, I want to say thank you, a massive thank you to everybody who came on this fan show today that made it what it was. My God, it's been a long one, but it's definitely been the best one, I have to say. Everyone that came on had such great opinions, such great insight, and I've had an absolute ball. I want to say a massive thank you to these lovely faces that are with us right now, for coming on and all of us just having a good heated debate, which is what it's about, you know what I mean? And I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's helped support the channel today with the super chats. It doesn't go unnoticed, and it's never ever forgotten. So thank you so much. It really does help with this channel. It really does help the channel grow and keep us pushing out more and more content. I want to say a massive thank you to you, the Harris Army, and for everyone else tuning in. Stick with me. I'm going to have a lot of new content coming out the first week of the season. So make sure you tune in for that. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. We're absolutely growing at a rapid pace right now. We've gained nearly 250, nearly 300 subscribers over the last week or two. It's absolutely insane. So everybody, make sure you keep smashing that subscribe button. Let's see how far I can really push this channel on my phone before I do come off it onto the laptop. It'd be an interesting experiment. I'd love to see if we can get to 4K. You know what I mean? But before I come off the phone onto the laptop, it'd be an interesting experiment. But look, most of all, I want to thank Jack for everything he's done for the channel as well, all the help he's given us and everything. You guys love him, I love him. You know what I mean? It's been absolutely brilliant. But look, tomorrow, I'm not sure what we have coming up. There will be something out tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we'll have Kaniki answer me at 10 o'clock after the game. So from there, we'll take it from there. But guys, thank you so much. It's been awesome. Thanks for the comments. Make sure you do smash the like on the stream. Subscribe on the channel. Put your comments in below. Me and Jack, we do love getting in there, mixing it with you guys, listening to your opinions and giving our own. So please do get the comments in. And as always, come on, you Spurs. And in Nuno we trust.
And Nuno we trust.
Leave you out.
Come on, you Spurs.